Could it be? For me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to the Command Post Game Alive. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. Of course, I'm your Commander-in-Chief, Louie Tee. Thank you for joining me. I am sick to my stomach. I mean, frankly, there's no other way to say it. We've lost to two of the three worst teams in football. The Giants are horrible. The Bears were horrible when we played them, and we lost to both of them. So what does that make us? Okay. The Panthers are the only worst team in the league, more so than the Giants. The Giants stink. They should have beaten us by 30 today. We couldn't move the ball. Everything we talked about all week long, you would have thought that Wink Martindale was one of the most conservative play callers in the league, and then he just opened it up today and all of a sudden decided to blitz, and they didn't know that they were getting the blitz today. It was comical. We didn't see a rollout until the third quarter of this game. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Sam was sacked 5 times in the first half, and we didn't see a single rollout. We didn't see a single screen until the second half of this game. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I talked about this offensive line. I said, it's not fixed. They're still trash. It's not as bad as you guys have been talking about, but it's not good. And that Giants line is not that bad. And when you add pressure to it, it's going to be worse. And what happened? I mean, I'm at wit's end with this staff. Look, we had already talked about Ron was fired after the Bears game. There was nothing he could do to save his job. He was done already. That ship had sunk. He was done. This is the final nail in the coffin. If the nail wasn't, the coffin wasn't already slammed shut. I mean, I had already fired him after the Bears game. You know, he's just buying time at this point. There's no reason to fire him now. You know, so anybody that wants to fire Ron and get rid of Jack and this, that, there's no reason for that. There's no benefit to that. You don't gain a benefit. And the NFL just enacted a new rule where you can't interview coaches in person for your vacancy until the divisional round now. So again, there's no benefit to getting rid of anybody. You just got to ride this thing out. We know what's coming. Everybody's head is chopped off, including EB. I'm done with him too. Like in terms of him being the head coach now, we good. We good on that. Because what I saw today was a dude that just didn't get it. I mean, you would think he didn't know what this offensive line was about. You would think he didn't know what the Giants defensive coordinator Wink Martindale was all about. You would think that EB just simply didn't get it. And that's how I view it right now. He just doesn't get it. And, you know, in past weeks, it was on Sam holding on. He didn't have a chance today in the first half. He didn't have a chance in the first half. They should have had a pick six. They run a play action fake. And up the A-gap free comes a rusher. Sam doesn't even get to the top of his drive. He didn't get to turn around, and there's a guy screaming at him 90 miles an hour. Should have been a pick six. The Giants are awful. And yet we still had a chance to win the game. That's how you know they're trash. They did everything in their power to give us a chance to win this game. Muff punt, fumble inside the 20-yard line, drop pick six. You name it, they did it in this game. Missed field goal, and we still lost, which tells you that we're awful. Okay, just as bad, if not worse, than the damn Giants. And they beat us. So, hey, we are probably worse than they are. Everybody's going at the season's end. Everybody's gone, EB included. He doesn't get it either. This was as disappointing as it gets because we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We knew what we were signing up for today, and clearly he did not get the memo. Not one single wide receiver screen until the end of the game to Terry. Are you kidding me? Against all-out pressure, you're not going to throw one single wide receiver screen to try to get him out of it? I mean, this shit was comical in the first half. You knew a sack was coming. And then the penalties were just absurd. We picked the worst day to have penalties on first or second down, pushing us into third and long, compounding matters with the sacks. We didn't stand a chance offensively in the first half. It was one of the worst offensive showings in the first half we've seen, probably back to 2020 with that Rams game when Alex Smith had to come in. It was that bad. We didn't even move the ball in the first half. We had 46 total yards of offense in the first half. Where they do that at? Against a Giants team that stinks. And the Giants will go back to being trash next week against the Jets. I guarantee you they won't score 2 touchdowns next week. The Jets will put the clamps down on them defensively. They might not even score a touchdown next week. This team is awful. And we made them look like a real NFL outfit. Again, what does that say about us? And it starts with the coaching staff. It's not the players. At this point, I know what I saw today. It's not the players. It's the staff. Don't talk to me about players and don't talk to me about this guy not doing this guy not doing that. They're not prepared. They're not prepared. They're not prepared. We're about to incur a delay of game, and Ron's just sitting there with his arms folded. You know, it's 2nd and 5, and we're fighting our asses off just to get a first down. We're 0 of 9 on third downs. So even if we don't complete this next pass and it's 3rd and 5, it's probably the most manageable third down we've had all day to this point. And Ron's just standing there with his arms folded as Sam gets a delay of game. I watch the games around the league, and the coach is sprinting to the official getting this timeout. Can't take this delay of game in the first half. Not when my offense is struggling and we haven't seen a third and manageable all day. I got to take this timeout. Nope. Old Ronald is sitting there, arms folded. Yep. Gonna take this 5-yard delay game here and see if old Sam can spin it on 3rd down and 10. But he wants to be irate when they call him for intentional grounding, though. Now he wants to lose his shit. Out of here, man. Jack, we blitzed all of 2 times today. I think I counted twice. Tyrod Taylor. Let him stand back there, get comfortable. And we started to win with 4-man pressures in the second half. But I'm still at a loss as to why Tyrod Taylor is back there building a house. You know, there's a 3rd down in forever 23 where he gets to throw it deep. What if we got a PI? What if that guy somehow comes down? Why are we even giving them an opportunity to get off a 3rd and 23? That Jalen Hyatt play? Are you kidding me? Tyrod's back there building a house. Double move, all of that shit, all kinds of time. If not for the defense making a play against Saquon, game was over right there. I mean, again, so I was wrong about this. It wasn't the first possession. It was the 3rd possession of the game, okay? So they didn't score a touchdown on the first. It was the 3rd possession. And then the 4th possession. After that, or 5th. I knew they were going to score 2 touchdowns. I knew they weren't going to score much more than that because they suck ass, do the Giants. Knew they weren't going to score more, but I didn't anticipate us only scoring 1 touchdown, and that was with their help. Without their help, we would have got shut out today. Because we don't know how to block on field goal unit, and we don't know how to do the little things correctly, not jump false start. Boy, we were scared as shit. Our offensive, how many false starts we had today? We hadn't had more than 2 probably in a single game. We had about 4 or 5 of them bitches today. Scared to death, scared to look. They shook by that Giants pressure. They didn't know how to act. Poor Sam back there fighting for his life. And even in the face of adversity, you know I'm a ride for my guy Sam. Because some of y'all, I don't know what the hell y'all watching. Doing pick 6, all of that good stuff. This game should have been over. He shouldn't even been in a position to lead us down the field. And on the biggest play of the game, instant pressure. Leno's pointing outside, hey, you got a free rusher out here. I can't pick him up. What are we going to do about it? Nope. Sam's got to spin out of that and try to make a play. And look, Jahan, we've been on his ass. He made a good catch on a similar ball that was behind him. I need you to make your quarterback right in that situation. The game is on the line. I need you to come up big and make a play. It's not the easy catches. It's not the ones that it's the tough ones when I got to have it, when I need you to step up and be your best. And we haven't gotten that from Jahan this year, unfortunately. Sam needed to give him a better ball. It's tough. He had to break, contain, break a sack, spin out, roll into his left, and he had to make an accurate throw on a receiver running away from him. That's a tough throw. Make your quarterback right, man. Make a play. Make a play. We shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. You have no business being down 14-7 to the damn Giants, who hadn't scored an offensive touchdown at home, who hadn't scored a touchdown at home all season long. Not offensive, defensive, none of that shit. They hadn't scored a touchdown at home all season long. Boy, the Giants are ass. So are we. So are we. And like I've said before, and I used to say this last year when we lose to the Giants, we got a better roster than the Giants do. It's not about the players. I'll take our guys 10 times out of 10. It's the staff, man. We were ill prepared for a bad Giants football team, just like we were ill prepared for a bad Bears football team. We're always ill prepared. We're never ready for these types of situations, these types of games against teams that you're supposed to beat. Everybody else is able to do it but us. And it's the staff. So on, Wednesday, Thursday, I don't want to hear from EB, the staff is doing a really good job and getting the guys prepared. I don't hear that shit. Because clearly you and your staff didn't get these guys prepared to come out and play a blitz-happy Giants football team that you knew was going to bring the pressure from the first snap of the game to the final one. You knew that. Game on the line. What you think Wink Martindale going to do? He going to blitz, bro. He going to blitz. So screen, slant, something quick. Something quick. Back foot hits the ground, ball out. Why is this hard? I'm still baffled as to why this is so hard. Back foot hits the ground, ball out. Everything we do, that's what it's supposed to look like against this defense. That's not what we're out there doing. God forbid that we try a 5-step drop. It's a sack. You can't go 7-step. We can't protect. Even when we max protect, it's a problem. This loss was on the coaching staff. This was 125% on the coaching staff. Same way I felt after the Bears game. All on the coaching staff. If you're Ron Rivera, I get why you're looking to take the points there. What are we doing? How many times have we been in the red zone today? What are you kicking a field goal for, sir? Now, again, I'm not upset. This isn't like going for 2 versus, kicking the extra point. I understand why because the next time you get down there, you got a chance to win the game. I understand the logic. You don't think the Giants are going to score again. How many times? Again, this is why I struggle with guys like Ron Rivera because he'll tell me analytics, but analytics didn't tell you to kick a field goal there, bro. I guarantee you analytics is telling you to go for it. But I'm not an analytics guy. I'm a play-by-feel eye test guy. Your team is stunk on offense today. You've been down in the red zone one time previous to that, and the only reason you got down there was because of a muff punt. I don't know if you're going to have many more trips back into this territory. Why are you settling for a field goal? This game could have ended 14-10. The Giants got back down there, and if they kick a field goal, you're right back where you were at 17-10. You're down a touchdown. I just don't understand the logic in that situation when you know your team has been struggling offensively all day, why you would even think that settling for a field goal there. And again, don't get a 27-yard field goal block. That's on the players. But again, Ron has shown at every turn that he doesn't trust his players with the decision-making. Because even if you trust your defense, if we don't get this, they're pinned down inside their own 10, 15-yard line. Get a stop, defense. You've been getting stops all second half. Get a stop. Give us great field position back. Cut the field in half. Where's the psychological sense in kicking a field goal there? I mean, Ron is so lost. He's so flustered right now. It's not even funny. He doesn't know if he's coming or going. EB is just as lost as he is. And Jack is holding on for dear life over there. Everybody's gone at season's end. And if I'm, as a fan of this team, I got my quarterback. This was a gutsy performance by Sam. You get sacked 5 times in the first half, and this was the worst performance of the line. And we've been sacked more. How many did they end up with on the day? Was it 6 or 7? That's the question now. He's been sacked 4 or more times in every game this season. He's going to break the sack record. He's going to break it. It's not a matter of if he's going to break it, by how much. That's the question. Now we got to start getting into that territory. Is Sam mentally going to hold up? Physically, he's going to be fine. Everybody keeps worried he's going to get hurt. He ain't going to get hurt. I'm not worried about Sam getting hurt. I'm worried about Sam getting broken mentally. That's what I'm worried about. And he hasn't shown me any signs of a dude that's not going to stand in there and sling that bitch. He ain't showed me a crack in the armor yet from a mental standpoint. That's why I love this dude. Let me check and see how many sacks. I'm going to go with 6. I think they stopped at 6. That's what I'm going to go with. 6. It was 6 on the day. They had 5 in the first half, only 1 because EB started rolling the pocket and started doing things to alleviate pressure. Again, it took us a whole half to figure that out. A whole entire half of football to figure out, oh, shit, they blitzing a whole hell of a lot. Here's what we're going to do. I'm just done, man. I'm over this staff, bro. And at this point, I got Sam. I got some talent at receiver. That was interesting what they did at running back today, right? Like, they pretty much went to Chris Rodriguez specifically in the second half. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe he's just, hitting a hole faster. I do know Brian Robinson does hesitate from time to time. And so they might want a guy that's just getting downhill. I don't love it. I don't love them going to C-Rod, but I don't hate it either because he was the only one really having any good hits in the run game other than B-Rob's touchdown run. So I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, right? Like, you're going from slow to slower. Like, how am I supposed to feel about that? Like, I don't love that. But I got some dudes that I'll ride with on this football team, but I'm outside with Sam. I'm outside for Sam. It's all I'm doing for the rest of the year. And I told you this after the bid. All I do is for Sam at this point. All right. And he's gonna have to learn another offense and third year, third scheme. That shit sucks. It does. Okay. It sucks. Knowing that he's gonna have to learn a whole nother scheme again. How is he supposed to get better when every year he's learning a new offensive scheme? I pray that the next guy they get in here, first of all, they need to hire an offensive-minded head coach. That's number one. And they need to get a guy in here with some chops that's going to put us in a position to not put Sam in vulnerable ones. EB continues to put us in empties. He continues to 6-man protections against 6- and 7-man rushes, leaving guys hot. He continues to leave Sam vulnerable. We lead the league in empty sets. Like, make it make sense. Now, that wasn't the reason for today's struggles. They just didn't block well. Our guys didn't block well. But again, it's on EB to alleviate the blockers having to block well. You slow down the pass rush with your play call. We never did that. Even the rollouts weren't us slowing them down. It was just moving the pocket. We never slowed the rush down with the screen game, with the short, quick game. We never slowed it down with, hey, we're going to pepper them with these short passes all day long. We're going to pepper the shit out of them. I did like the fact that we got aggressive. You're going to keep coming up. You're going to keep pressing. You're going to keep blitzing. We're going over the top. I do like the fact that we got aggressive on their ass. That slowed their ass down a little bit. But you can't rely on the deep passes to slow them down, even though Sam was throwing dots out there on those deep balls, despite getting his brains bashed in. I'm scouting head coaching candidates. I'm scouting GM, candidates from here on out. I see a good roster that does well in the draft. Who's your assistant GM? You got one of those? Who's that guy? How much input does he have? Let me see what his credentials look like. I'm scouting GMs. I'm scouting head coaching options. I want an offensive guy. So I'm looking at the league. Ben Johnson took a hit today. He took a hit today. I know Mama said there'd be days like this, but you ain't supposed to go on the road and get your ass waxed like that. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know what transpired. I told you I don't trust Jared Goff. I don't. I already told you that. I don't. But I'm scouting head coaching options and seeing who's out here, scouting GM options, seeing who's out here. And I'm so upset because Jim Schwartz would be like at the top of my defensive coordinator. You see what he's doing out here in Cleveland? They had a rough go of it today. I'm not going to lie to you. But I take Jim Schwartz over Jack Del Rio any day. But there's got to be some young linebackers coach that's cooking up crack somewhere around the league that we can scoop up. Again, this will be all on the head coach. The head coach is going to fill out his cabinet, but find the right GM, let him find the right coach, let that coach fill out his cabinet and his staff, and let's go to work. This group ain't it. We know that for a fact. Again, it's like Groundhog's Day watching this. Who didn't see this coming? Who didn't see this coming? The only thing I didn't see coming was us only scoring 7 points. I knew the Giants were going to score 2 touchdowns. I told you that in my breakdown. They're going to score 2 touchdowns. That was a gimme. They haven't scored all season long at home a touchdown. That's a gimme. They scoring a touchdown on us, of course. 3rd and 12. In the MOBB, my guy Derek B was like, why did they take the penalty? Because if you don't, it's 4th and 2. They're going to go for it. You make it 3rd and 12. They shouldn't be able to complete an easy seam ball for a touchdown on 3rd and 12. They should be kicking a field goal. Jack should be bringing pressure. Nope. We're going to play some soft cover 2 and let the tight end run right up the seam. Easy touchdown. Get Jack the hell out of here too, man. Shit is comical. We see this shit coming a mile away. And for those of us who said, hey, Jack's probably going to rely on the 4-man rush today. And look, they hit home in the second half. But I still would have mixed in my fair share of blitzes. We didn't blitz enough today. We didn't blitz enough. But in the second half, we were able to get to Tyrod Taylor. This was Chase Young's best game since the injury, without a doubt. He was disruptive. He had 2 sacks. I don't think they're going to give him a sack on that Tyrod Taylor quarterback draw. I think he got slightly past the line of scrimmage, so I don't think he gets a sack for that one. But he had 2 sacks on the day. It was ultra disruptive. Was constantly in the backfield, making his presence felt. He drew like 2 or 3 holding penalties. This was by far and away Chase Young. If he's going to play like that, he's the better of the 2 edge rushers. That's the guy we signed up for, 2nd overall pick. Like, if that's what he's going to be, if that's who he is, that's the one I want right there. Tez got a sack today, and he ended up combining with Chase on another sack that got nullified by Jamin Davis getting a penalty down the field. But, a lot of Tez's sacks are, backside, guy hold on to it too long. I know the sack he got today, the receiver fell down. That's why he got the sack. Whereas Chase, his sacks was like straight up wins. You know what I'm saying? Straight up beating folks, beating Justin Pugh like he's supposed to around the edge. We'll see if he can build on that moving forward. But I'm on some Mike Shanahan 2012 shit right now. That's where I'm at. I'm in that bag right now. I'm evaluating for next year. or in Mike's words, we evaluating for next season. Okay. That's the bag I'm in. I'm evaluating for next year. Starts with Sam. And then we go on to the receivers. Then we go on to the tight ends. Then we go on to the running backs. And then we finally finish up with the offensive line on the offensive side of football. And then we move forward. Then we go to the defense and we evaluate all the pieces that we think are part of the solution. All the guys that are meh, Jags, or a part of the problem, they can go. Next staff comes in here. Half this roster needs to be turned over next year. It's a lot of dead weight from Ron and company's drafts and guys that they like David Mayo that they just holding on to for whatever reason. It's a lot of dead weight on this roster. So half of these boys can go next year. All right. It's only a select few dudes that I'm like, hey, you can ride. Get in the car. You 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 get in the car. Now you stay at the bus stop. 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 You can get in the car. You can get in the car. It's about 53-man roster. About 25 to 27 dudes can get in the whip. Everybody else, keep your ass right here at the bus stop. You go with Ron, Jack, EB, and the Martys when this shit is over with. Pack your shit and y'all can go too. And if guys can't make the transition, like Wally, you playing guard next year, bro. That's your spot. You ain't at tackle next year. And if you can't make the transition, you can go too. Okay, yes. Sadiq, he was fighting to be back next year. That calf strain, remember he was dealing with that in the summer. I don't know, man. He missed a couple of weeks, and I might be like, hey, Sadiq, you can go too. Get your things. You can go as well. Right now on the offensive line, Nick Gates got his ass whooped. I mean, no, I don't want to give you my lunch money. They were taking his goddamn lunch money. He knew what Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, it really was Dexter Lawrence. He knew what Dexter Lawrence was all about. He went against him in practice last year. He knew what he's all about. Got his damn lunch money taken. He picked his ass up by his damn legs, turned him upside down, and shook his change and loose bills out of his damn pockets. Dumped his ass on the floor, picked his shit up, and walked away. Then went inside, got him a honey bun, and ate this shit in front of Nick Gates' face. Your 50 Cent bought me this honey bun, bitch. Disgusting. Disgusting. Only dudes that can come back, Sam Cosmi right now, and that's about it, honestly, on the offensive line. Sam Cosmi, maybe Cornelius Lucas. You know, I want him back as a swing tackle, if nothing else. But Wiley better make that transition to guard, or his ass is going too. I know he signed a 3-year deal. He can kick rocks, as far as I'm concerned. Offensive line is not good, but it doesn't have to be as bad as it is if the offensive play caller, again, I watch too much football. I've seen worse lines than this. Don't tell me it can't be done, because it can. This shit is on the playmate. This is on the play caller. How are you getting all-out pressure? And again, this is all we talked about all week, beating man coverage and knowing you were going to get pressure all day long. All day long. Like a leave, all day long, all day strong, you were going to get pressure. How are we going to deal with it? How are you going to alleviate some of the stress that's going to cause to your offensive line? He looked like Scott Turner today. That first half looked like Scott Turner week 3 versus the Eagles last year. Tell me it didn't. Wait. Tell me that didn't look like Scott Turner struggling for an answer against the dang on Eagles in the first half last year in week 3. Tell me that didn't look like it. EB just as lost. He just as lost in the sauce. He has absolutely zero clue. He still didn't even throw screens for real in the second half. His answer was roll out. Sprint out left, sprint out right. That was his answer. Move the pocket. Should have been doing that from the jump, though, bro. Should have been doing that from the very beginning of the game. You're going to let Sam get sacked 4 or 5 times before you say, you know what? Damn, these Giants are sure aggressive today. Huh. Think we should move the pocket? Y'all think we should move the pocket? Man, it's whatever you want to do, EB, man. It's your call. I think I want to move the pocket a little bit. You got to be kidding me, man. This shit is comical. Ron, I look at Ron and I'm like, man, you come straight out of a comic book. I mean, he's a cartoon character at this point. You know, just standing here with his little glasses on, arms folded, shit's burning around him, and he's just got his arms folded. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. He's a cartoon character, man. He comes straight out of a damn comic book. You know, Pastor EB preaching to us every week about this and that. I ain't seeing shit from him. But he gonna smile, though. Yeah, I'm over it, bro. I'm over it. I think I'm the most disappointed in Eric Bieniemy out of everybody because he was the one that was supposed to give us hope this year. He was the one that was supposed to give us hope. I thought he was the one that was pushing hope into my brain instead of dope into my veins because Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, they're dope. And we've been pushing that shit in our veins for 4 years. But he was supposed to be the one to come in here and give us hope. Stop pushing that dope in your veins. I got you now. I'm here. I'm going to clean this offense up and give us a chance to win every week. He come in here and he just as bad as they are. I got zero confidence in his ability to draw it up when somebody applies pressure. The beauty of it is, and I know this sounds crazy, what I'm about to say. I know this sounds crazy, right? We're not going to see a defense like this next. The Giants had 5 sacks all season long before today. Hey, we're not going to see a defense like the Giants. More like we're not going to see a defensive coordinator like Wink Martindale until week 11. We'll see those guys in 4 weeks from now. Well, he'll be dialing up exotic blitzes again, and we'll see if he gets 6 sacks in the first half next time instead of 5. Luckily enough for us, the Eagles aren't that aggressive. The Patriots, etc., Seahawks, etc., etc. So it shouldn't be that bad again, but who knows? Look, if I were playing Washington, if my corners can hold up on the outside, if I trust them, I'm blitzing the draws off of these boys. Until they remember, I told y'all on Friday, I said, we really haven't proven that we can pick up a blitz since the preseason when the Browns brought it on us and Sam had a holding penalty on Andrew Wiley in the end zone, and we struggled early in that Browns game. We really haven't proven that we can protect against pressure. Sam's gotten a little bit better against it, but it's still a problem. You saw it today. It's still a problem. And EB is the main culprit because just like Scott Turner last year, he doesn't have answers to the pressure that's being applied. He doesn't have a game plan that says, I dare you to blitz. If this was Sean McVay, it would have been 6 wide receiver screens to Cooper Kupp in the first quarter. Keep blitzing if you want to. One of these shits is going to pop. I dare you to keep blitz. I double dog dare you. I'm going to keep throwing these receiver screens till one of these bitches go for 63 yards because one of them going to pop. I guarantee you if this was Aaron Rodgers, you catching this slant all day. You're going to get this slant work. I dare you to try to jump one. I'm going to slant and go. But you're getting this quick game. Keep blitzing me if you want to. Who the hell you think you blitzing against? You blitzing against a coordinator that has no clue. He's lost. Man is a deer in headlights. So if you want to know who I knew what we were getting from Ron. We knew what we were getting from Jack. We know that shit is old hat. It's a tired routine, man. We didn't seen that shit for 4 years. We already knew how this game was gonna go. The saving grace was supposed to be EB. I already know Jack ain't gonna have his defense prepared to shut down the Giants' offense like everybody else did. And just for the record, you're supposed to win a game when you give up 14 points. But again, last week was fool's gold. We gave up 400 yards to the Falcons on offense, just so you know. And I made sure I pointed that out. Like, don't let the 3 turnovers fool you. We gave up 400 yards. They drove the ball in the second half. Sans for the first 2 possessions of the third quarter, they drove the football down the field every time, and the turnovers bailed us out. We had a 4th down stop and 2 interceptions. It wasn't because the defense was out here balling and getting off the field on third downs. They was moving the ball on our ass. This defense is mid. But even with that said, you're supposed to be able to score 21 today. That's all I was looking for. I said the Giants can't score 20. They don't know what the 20s look like, man. These boys are offensively challenged. They don't know what a 2 in the first column of a number in terms of points looks like. They don't know what that's like. Just go to 20. They can't keep up. You go, hey, Giants, I got 20 points. And you push some chips in, they throw their shit in. They throw their cards in. Shit, that's too rich for my blood. 20 points? Shit. I'm going to check my next hand. They throwing their cards in if you tell them I got 20 for you. They ain't got shit for you. All we had was 7. That's on EB. That's on Eric Bieniemy. Shit is a joke. And then Ron kicking the damn field goal? That's the shit that bitch-ass dudes are made of right there. We call those bads. Bitch-ass dudes. That's the shit that bitch-ass dudes are made of right there. Instead of me saying, hey, I trust my defense. I trust my offense. Offense don't get it done. Defense, you come out and get a stop. We ain't been down here but twice. One of them was a gift. Might not get back down here again. I'm going to go ahead and go for it while I'm down here. Shit, what the hell I got to lose? Not a damn thing. Now I'm going to kick the field. I'm going to do the safe thing. And show of hands. Show of hands. Show of hands. Who didn't think something was going to go wrong with the operation? I was like, Sly, I don't think Sly going to miss the kick. But I said, man, this is the one that Cheese dribbles back there and the shit goes to shit. I thought Cheese was going to be the culprit. Nope, clean operation. Ball wasn't kicked low. Nobody put a hand on Leonard Williams, the tallest dude out there. Nobody put a hand on him. Giants haven't blocked the kick in 99 games since 1997. Who are we? Say it louder in the back. Who are we? Streak breakers. At your service. Don't nobody do it better than us. Been in the game since 1999. Streak breakers. You want your streak broken? Come see us. That's the motto. That's the motto. You want your streak broken? Come see us. 100% satisfied guarantee. Satisfaction guarantee. 100% satisfaction guarantee. We ain't met a customer that was mad yet. Bring your streak over here, man. Giants ain't scored a touchdown at home all year. Bring that shit over here. You ain't scored a touchdown in 13 quarters. Bring that streak over here, man. Snap that shit. We streak breakers. Don't nobody do it better. It's over, bro. All of these dudes got to go. All of them. One is just as clueless as the next. It's the blind leading the blind. And when the dude at the top, Ron, is blind, what do you expect everybody else to do? You know what Ron told the sideline reporter at halftime? Hey, we're going to switch up some protections. So y'all didn't come into the game knowing that they were going to blitz. Well, we're going to switch up some protections. Oh, man. Golly, boy, I can't. Let's get to the comment section, man. We're going to switch up some protection. He told A.J. Ross, yeah, we're going to switch up some protection. So y'all didn't come in the game thinking the Giants was going to blitz. Huh? Y'all just figured we just going to run our offense and shit'll be fine, right? We've given up the most sacks in the league this year, on pace to give up over 90 some odd sacks instead of new NFL, and we just going to run our shit. All right, yeah, okay. This shit is, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Our guys are absolutely clueless. Or as a wise man once said to me, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. And hopefully Ron says, none taken. Anyway, I digress. Major enlightenment. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, outcoached late game adjustments and undisciplined football killed drives, without a doubt. I mean, we picked our worst game to have our worst game from a penalty standpoint. You know, early in the season, we had issues with penalties, but not for a lot of yards. He was always of the 5-yard variety. I think we had 8 for 70 and 8 for 71 in the first 2 games. And then after that, we were pretty chill on penalties. We've been really good. Disciplined, not really hurting ourselves. That pressure, I told you, that shit scared us straight today. I mean, shitless. Dudes was jumping. You know, Sam is out. You know, he delayed a game. He trying to get the orders barked to the offensive line. Those dudes were scared, man. They were shook. Defense fought majority of the game, but I feel like after this loss, we're at the bottom of the division after this loss. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to say? You can't even, I mean, even if you fix your lips to talk shit to Giants fans, they're just going to say, bro, y'all can't beat us. And what you going to say to that? What are you supposed to say? The Giants are poverty. They scored 14 points and they beat us. What are you supposed to say to a Giants fan? Nothing. I can still point and laugh because they're awful, but we're awful too. I think our awful is different than theirs, but who am I to judge? Okay? Who am I to judge? I mean, seriously, who am I to judge? Anubis Air. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, where are the screens? Bro, I asked that question in the MOBB at least 7 times. Where's the screens? Like, where's the screens? What did Dunkin' Donuts dude used to say? Where's the donuts? Didn't he used to say that? Or the old lady in the 80s, where's the beef? Where's the screens? And if I hear one more commentator or color analyst say Washington's been great at the screen game, it's almost akin to Washington's got a dominant front four. If I hear one more person say that, I'm personally going to catch a flight to wherever they are, smack the shit out of them, and get right back on the plane and come home. We have not been great at the screen game this year. We barely even run them. We barely run them. When we do run them, they're very successful. But don't talk to me like we run 5-6 screens every week, because we don't. We run one or two. One of them pops every 3 weeks, and now it looks like we're dominant in the screen game. We had a good screen, the best screen game against Denver. We ain't had no screen success until last week against Atlanta. Don't tell me that we run great screens and we got a great screen game. We ain't running no damn screens. Where is the motion? They run motion. It's meaningless motion, but they run it. No jet sweeps, nothing off of it. We had the little touch pass to Curtis last week, but we don't do shit over again. Yeah, we run it once, just like when Scott was here. When Scott told we would run the shit one time, and Scott would put that shit in his back pocket, forget it was there, put it in a washing machine, wash the shit, and oh man, damn, I can't even read this play no more. Guess we can't run that shit no more. Dummy. Or reverse, something to offset this defense to make them think otherwise than Sam in the gun. Game plan. Look, how many times we gonna run a 3rd and 1 gun run and fail? How many times we gonna do that? Man, if this ain't Scott Turner reminiscent of Scott Turner, man, like EB situational awareness, the only difference between EB and Scott Turner is in the red zone. We score with EB, we don't with, and we didn't today, obviously, at the end. And we didn't when we settled for the field goal, but I would have went for it. But the only difference is we score usually in the red zone. That's the only difference between Scott Turner and the percentage for the red zone took a hit. We were 7th in red zone. I told y'all, man, we've been doing a good job in the red zone. That's where the game is won and lost, right? I told y'all that. We were 1 of 3 in the red zone. 1 of 3. We just needed to be 2 of 3, and we would have won the game. 1 of 3 in the red zone. That's where the game is won and lost. Red zone efficiency. 7th in the NFL coming into the game. Not anymore. Not anymore. Miko the Don, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, we have a big back in Brian Robinson, yet EB continues to line up in gun and not attack the edges of the D. Also, with us not running slants, crossers against man, I really don't know if EB is the man for the OC job. He's not. He's already proven that he was a part of that machine in Kansas City, but he wasn't like one of the key cogs. He was probably a huge part in, picking out like he did in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. He saw that motion gave the Eagles a little bit of fits and they could take advantage. Like he's not, he knows football, right? But him being the guy calling the plays, clearly that's not his strong suit. Clearly he's not built for that. Clearly he's not built for that. King of the North, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I thought EB's offense would be the difference. Giants don't know it. They also had never played Sam. Turns out I'm an idiot, LOL. You're not an idiot. You put your blind faith in EB's ability to see what the Giants were doing because you just figured ain't no way he going to be like, we at home watching. We watch the Giants every week. We watch them blitz the draws off of teams. Whether it works or it doesn't work, that's what they do. They didn't blitz a ton last week because they were playing Josh Allen. They didn't want to make a mistake against Josh Allen. Keep everything in front of us. Let's see what happens. But you knew he was going to blitz us because of the issues we've had up front protecting. I don't know if you saw the shitting grin on his face after the 5th sack, but he was like, oh, they're awful over there. This is too easy. He's like, this is a white man can't jump shit. This is too easy. Nah, this is too easy. Nah, this is too easy. We going to Sizzlers. We going to Sizzlers. We gonna sizzle. That shit was too easy for Wink over there, man. Wink was having him a damn party over there, man. I mean, he was enjoying himself. He was like, man, what else? What other blitzes can I done already emptied the clip in the first half. I don't even know if I got any more blitzes left. I gotta start making some shit up. I thought that the difference would be EB finding a way to scratch across three touchdowns, either 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals, or 3 touchdowns to beat the Giants. That's all it was going to take, and I knew that. My score reflected that. 2 Giant touchdowns, 3 for us. That's what my score reflected. That's what I expected. I didn't expect it. A lot of y'all wanted blowouts. Where have you seen any evidence of us? I told you the only outcome that I couldn't see was us blowing the Giants out. I could see the Giants should have blown us out. Kayvon Thibodeau catches that pick 6, and Sterling Shepard doesn't muff the punt. I'm not sure we score today. They should have beaten us 24. They missed the field. It should have beaten us 24-0. Blanked us. Blanked us. That could have happened, and I would not have been surprised. The only outcome I would have been surprised by was us dominating the Giants and winning by 2 scores. And I couldn't see it happening. But I did see us scoring 3 touchdowns. Because while the Giants are going to blitz, they still ain't that damn good defensively. They still ain't that damn good. You're not an idiot. We all got fooled. All right. We all got fooled. Rob you, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, it's like this team is in a coma in the first half every week. It's time for the whole staff to go, all of them. I mean, it's what we do. I mean, let's be honest, man. This is the same. I told you it's Groundhog's Day with Ron. We've seen this movie before. We already know how it ends. I'm telling y'all this because y'all know this and y'all don't want to hear it right now. We're going to be in the playoff discussion at the end. We're not making the playoffs. Okay. We know that. This is what we do every year. But we're going to be in the discussion. We're going to be in the hunt. We're going to look up. This team is going to be 7-8 with 2 games left. And the final wild card is still in the balance. Got to win your final 2 games. And then we're going to piss ourselves twice. We already, bro, and we're going to go Rivera and be 7-10, which is what we do on the round. You guys know how this movie ends. We're going to be in the mix. We're going to win a game at some point this season we have no business winning. It might be next week. It might be next week. It might not be. Might be the Dolphins or the 49ers later in the season. I don't know. But it's going to be one in there where you go, well, didn't see that one coming. Doesn't matter. Get these dudes the hell out of here, man. Sick of this shit. Seriously. Sick of having the same conversation over and over again. I don't even like repeating myself to my kids. What I look like talking and saying the same shit over and over again to adults who've been doing this shit for probably longer than I've been alive. What I look like repeating myself to them over and over again. It's the same shit every week. Even when we win, it's the same shit. Greg Giants 10. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB rights. Good game, Louie. But how the Eagles own us, we just simply own you. It doesn't matter how bad our Giants teams are. That might be it. I honestly believe it's just coaching. The only reason you own us is our coaching staff has been ass. And even when you don't have great coaching, it's better than the shit we putting out on the field. It just comes down to coaching. Your coaches, even if they suck, they still better than our shit. That's how down bad we've been in the coaching department. So it don't really even matter what we put on the field. You guys will continue to beat us until we get a real coach in here. This shit will continue. Because what I've realized is your staff that you currently have, they ain't shit. I hope they retain all of those dudes, bring this shit back just the way it is. I'm glad y'all won today. I don't want y'all getting Caleb Williams or Drake May or nobody good. Keep your ass, get Michael Penix on one of these bums. Keep your ass right stuck in mediocrity. So when we finally because we got a quarterback. When we finally get a goddamn coach, that ass is mine. Pause. That ass is mine. But until then, we're going to keep taking these L's from y'all. I ain't got shit to say to you. You got me again. My hands are up. you got me again. I got nothing for you, man. Good game. Jordan like the GOAT. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I said I was worried about Jahan last week, and now I'm very worried. Just another first-round pick not showing up when we need them. That's not a great throw from Sam. In his defense, I need him to catch it. Just like I need Logan on that third down. I need you to catch that. It's not a great throw from Sam, but when you've been under duress, Sam's heart rate had to be at 1,000 on that play. Because immediately, before he even gets to the top of his drop, Kayvon Thibodeau is breathing down his damn neck. He's got a Tony Romo spin out of that bitch and extend. Now I need you to make a better throw. And he didn't make a great throw. I still need Jahan to find a way to reach across his body, running full speed in the opposite direction. This is not an easy play. If you've ever played receiver, that's not an easy catch to make. I'm not going to kill Jahan for that one. All I'm asking for you to do is be a baller in that situation and find a way to make that catch. I know it's not an easy catch, bro. I know that shit's tough. Be a baller for me right now. Logan Thomas, I know that shit is high. I know it's tough. And it's slightly behind you. Be a baller. Logan Thomas isn't a baller, guys. But we know that already, okay? Catches a ball, breaks a tackle, can't keep his feet. There was at least 20 more yards in front of Logan's slow ass. Can't get to it, you know? And I ain't mad at him for that. He is who he is. I just want guys to build. Bieniemy against the Bears. No, that's not a great throw from Sam. Could be a much better throw. Wide open. Dive and make your quarterback right, though. You know how many games I watched where I'm like, that wasn't a great throw, but that was a hell of a catch. Make your quarterback right. Terry had a drop today on the sidelines. Make your quarterback right. I'm not worried about Jahan. I ain't worried at all. Rush is variety. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes. Done with this ish. Get rid of all coaches and start again next year. Tired of this feeling year after year. See what Harris can put together. Look, at this point, I'm going to wait patiently. Obviously, the first day the season's over, that night, Ron is fired. He knows it already. Ron, and you know, these are going to be some painful press conferences. Because I thought after the Bears game, I thought those were some painful press conferences, watching Ron stumble and stammer through answers. I remember when Jay knew he was getting fired early in 19. Those were some painful press conferences, bro. Those first 4 or 5 weeks when Jay knew dead man walking. It wasn't a matter if, it's when you getting this pink slip, bro. Those were some painful press conferences. You can see the stress on the face of a coach when he knows he getting fired. We at that point with Ron now. This shit is painful, bro. This shit's going to be painful the rest of this season because he know he getting fired. Ain't nowhere. Again, you can make the playoffs. You still getting canned, bro. It's over. You can't come back from this. The Bears game was it. You doubled down on the Bears game with this loss. It's over for you, bro. These remaining 10 games, watching Ron stammer through these press conferences on Monday and Wednesday and post-game, it's going to be rough. Jack has mastered the art of saying nothing. 6 minutes of in and out, nothing. EB has not mastered that. EB is the master of saying a lot of nothing for 15 to 20 minutes. Ron is somewhere in between. It's going to be bad. Waiting to see what Harris does from a GM standpoint. That's going to be the most important part of all of this. If that GM is shrewd, he comes in here and he gets the coach right. We got enough talent to compete immediately. If that GM gets the coach right and you find some pieces that can come in and start immediately. I'm trading Montez at the trade deadline. If somebody's offering me a 2, he's yours. Come and get him. I'm keeping Chase. You can have Montez Sweat. And I hate to break them up. They're best friends. We can't pay both of them. Go ahead and take Montez off my hands. Give me a second-round pick and you got a deal. I'm ready. I'm ready to start stocking the cupboard. Put as many picks in the damn pantry as you can for this next GM. I'm trying to fast track this shit. I got a quarterback. He's still on a rookie contract. I got talented receiver. I need a speedy back. I'm missing one of those, right? Because Gibson gone. This is it for him, right? He one of those dudes you can stay at the bus stop. I love AG. I wanted it to work. He was probably better off being a wide receiver, to be honest with you. And I think he figured that out too. But it is what it is at this point. But you get the right guy in here, we can turn this shit around quick. Very, very quick. But I'm ready to start stocking the cupboard. Let's get this pantry full of draft picks, man. Let's see what this GM all about. Trevor Patch, been a member for 24 months. Right, so we are the face of poverty. We are cancer. Hashtag sack these nuts. I don't have any response to that. I just know it sucks. Pause. You start talking about nuts. Pause. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, we didn't get NHO today. We got NFO, new foul order. This offense stinks. I'm not here for that kind of slander because, again, I don't put this on Sam at all. You know, if you want to talk about EV, you want to talk about this, that, and third, I'm not going for the house slander. You want to do that, you can go on another channel, not this one. He played ass. I'm going to tell it to you straight, no chaser. Even though that's my guy, if he don't play well, he didn't make all the throws today. But when you getting your ass whooped the way that he did, for him to hang in there and give us a chance at the end of this game, yeah, right. We're not having that. You want to bash Howell, you got to go to somebody else's channel. After a game like that, when he got no help from his coordinator, offensive line, or receivers, you want to come and bash Sam Howell? You can kiss my ass. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Sam without sacks, top 15. Sam with sacks, NFL backup, 6 drives, dead. Again, if you want to put that in Sam's lap, be my guest. Again, last week, those sacks were on Sam. The vast majority of them. The week before that, probably half of the sacks, if not more, were on Sam again. This wasn't one of those weeks. He actually threw the ball away today, and they still hit him with intentional grounding. He got rid of the football a couple of times. I don't know what y'all want to do. A lot of y'all clearly don't have football watching eyes. Y'all just lay fans, just along for the ride, and that's okay. But if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, then just keep quiet. But if you're going to sit here and try to act as if this was on Sam, we're not watching the same game. This man had no chance today. None. Not in the first half, at least. Then you put penalties on top of it. And EB's play calling. It's 3rd and 1 and we running out of gun. Oh, okay. But that's on Sam, though. Yeah, all right. False start, that's on Sam, too. I presume. Holding on Leno. Holding on Wiley. That's on Sam, too, though. Don't get me started, man. JP, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate y'all who writes. Greatly appreciate you who writes. No words. Lost to Tyrod freaking Taylor. Tyrod is a quality NFL backup. I wanted Daniel Jones. I did not want to play him, and I told you why. He put some beautiful balls out there, right? He escaped the pocket a couple of times, extended. There was a play to Saquon early in the game where he got out of the pocket, found Saquon on the 3rd down. Like the touchdown to Saquon, I think, was him extending the play and getting it to Saquon for the touchdown. At the end of the day, he did what he was supposed to do. They scored 2 touchdowns, man. I'm not even tripping. Everybody has to go. That's the JP I know. That's the JP we've all come to know and love. Right there. Everybody's got to go. Fireable offense. Jahan and Jamin, you're both trash. I'm not going to stand for the Jahan slander either. You want to get on Jamin? He wasn't a good game from Jamin today. He came off of his best game, arguably as a pro last week, and followed that up with a dud today. And again, some of that scheme. But I'm not going to stand for the Jahan slander. Some of y'all expectations are, again, if it was an easy drop right between his hands, I'm right there with you. Like, come on, Jahan, bro. Jahan made a tough catch, to bail Sam out, and he just couldn't do it again. And it is what it is. I would love for him to make that catch, but I can't call the man trash. Y'all so fair weather. Some of y'all are just ridiculous how fair weather some of y'all are. I mean, it's again, I don't know how you conduct yourself in everyday life, but if it is anything close to how you are as a fan, boy, some of y'all are ruthless, man. I tell you. Anyway, I digress. Greg Giants 10. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for doubling up. Double up. Who writes, hey, Louie, don't use up all 7 of your points at once. I deserve that. You got 14 today. What did that bring your average up to? 13 a game? Maybe 12? I don't know. But I got nothing for you, man. I deserve that. I mean, you scored 7 points in this league. You deserve to lose the game. Okay? You deserve to lose. So I'll take that one right on the chin. Pause. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, can't blame EB for the state of the O-line, except for Wiley. Hard to run your offense when your line is as effective as a screen door on a submarine. I'm not giving you the out of blaming the offensive line. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't win with them. Won't win with them. I can't do it. Because as a coordinator, it is your job to meet your offense where it is, not the other way around. He's trying to force this offense to be Kansas City. We are not the Chiefs. You meet your offense where it is, okay? I can't begin to explain this to you. It's just like life. When you have a troubled youth, you don't try and make that troubled youth something that he's not. You meet that troubled youth where he is, where she is. You meet them where they are, and you try to coach them up, and you give them the tools necessary to become a better version of themselves. You take this offense where it's at, and you make it better, because it's not like we are poverty in terms of talent. We got stuff. It's your job to scheme up what we got and get the most out of it. If this was 2 years ago, it ain't shit you can do. We don't have enough talent. We got enough talent. I'm not trying to hear the excuses about offensive line. I'm not. Because there's ways that you can slow down the pass rush and get your boy more time. So I'm sorry, Red Wings. We're not vibing on that one. I'm not rocking with that one. Not doing that. Anubis Air. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Double it up. Who writes, bench the whole O-line. The backups are better. Shaking my effing head. I mean, you can't do that. You can't bench the whole unit. And I guarantee you the next squad will come in and not be any better. If not, they'll probably be worse. And it's not the entire line. Again, they take turns effing up. They take turns. But again, I put all of the onus on EB, just like I did last year with Scott Turner. Ain't shit changed. He looks like Scott Turner Jr. Ain't nothing changed. The only thing that's different, and again, I give EB credit, is we're more efficient in the red zone, and we weren't today. But and Curtis, you can't fall down there, buddy. You can't fall down there. And we ultimately converted that 4th down, but you can't fall down there, buddy. Sam, you can't throw the football 18 yards away from Terry and look for a flag. You got to make it catchable. That was holding. Deontay Banks was holding Terry off. That's what he do. That's what he did at Maryland. He's a grabber. He's a cloth grabber. There are a lot of penalties in the future of Deontay Banks. But you got to give the official a chance to throw the damn flag. You can't throw the bitch 10 yards away from Terry and then look for a flag. He was grabbing Terry all game long. There's a lot of penalties in that young man's future, but you got to give him a chance. That's not a good throw. You got the man over there doing all of this shit and having confidence. He stink. He ain't no different than Juice when Juice be getting cooked up. And I think Juice is better underneath than him. But he can't run. Deontay Banks, at least he can run. Juice can't run. Not vertical. We know that. Torrey Thompson. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, down goes Rivera. Who stays and who goes? Nobody's staying. What do you mean who stays and who goes? I mean, we talking about the We talk about the players. I guess there's a conversation. None of the staff is staying. I mean, maybe the next guy comes in here and he likes the running backs coach or something like that. I guess there may be one or two holdovers. I doubt it. Everybody's gone. Everybody's gone. Jack Taberley, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, a drop pass on fourth down wasn't the reason we deserved to lose this game, but damn, we need our first round pick to show up there. Same old shit. Yeah, I mean, I'm hesitant to call that a drop pass. It hit his hands, and any receiver will tell you if it hit my hands, I'm supposed to catch it. But that's a tough ass, man. That you're running full speed to your left, and the ball's thrown behind you to your right, and you have to contort your body and reach back with a defender on your ass trying to break up the pass and reach back and catch it. It's a tall order to ask a receiver to do. But again, be a baller, right? So if you want to call it a drop pass, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't see it like a blatant drop, but find a way to make your quarterback right in that situation. I need a better throw from Sam. Let's just be honest. Matt Ryan described how tough of a throw that is. We all know scrambling across your body and throwing across scrambling out to your left and throwing across your body to a moving target that's moving, in that direction is tough. It's not as tough as that guy moving to his right and you having to throw it back across your body that way, but it's a tough throw when you're moving to your left. If he was moving to his right, I got no doubts he'd have put it on him, but he's moving to his left. But like you said, the fact that we were in that position against the Giants, I don't really have any words. I'm at the point now where, and I was this way after the Bears game, and I feel the same way today. Nothing's changed. I'm out here riding for Sam. That's it. I don't have anything more to give. My energy level for the entire team and the staff, I don't have a lot to give for anybody else but Sam, because in this league, you got to have a quarterback. And I firmly believe we have that. So I'll ride for Sam. I'm not riding for pretty much anybody else right now. I'm outside for Sam. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rob Yu, thank you for being a member of the MOB. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Gates was getting his ass destroyed today. Man, was he ever. And you know what? He was one of the few bright spots early in the season. Boy, that's flipped quick. He's had a rough go of it the last 3 weeks or so. Man, it's been bad. Yikes. Ja, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, or I think that's Ja, right? Could be Jay. I'm going to go with Ja. Fire EB, Del Rio, Rivera. Trade everyone for draft capital. We are so bad. Can't trade everybody. There's pieces that are foundational that you want to build around. We've already established the core guys that have gotten contract extensions here. The Terrys, the Jonathan Allens, the Daron Paynes. Again, if you get this Chase Young moving forward, and I'm not convinced yet, that was Justin Pugh that he was gobbling it up and spitting out. He's supposed to do that to Justin Pugh, okay? His name is Justin P.U., right? Let's see him do that against Jordan Mailata next week against the Eagles. Let's see him do it the week after that and the week after that. Let's see him against better competition. And if this continues, if every week we're mentioning Chase's name and he's in the backfield and he's disrupting shit, because he's well on his way to 10 sacks. I think he's at 5 now on the season. And they took a half from him with the Jamin Davis penalty. So he's heading in that direction. If this is the Chase I'm getting moving forward, he's a part of the solution, not part of the problem. So there's some foundational pieces here. But Montez, yeah, I'm looking to move Montez. And if you got any other questions about a player availability, hit my line. I'll tell you if he's available or not. Terry's not available. Jahan or none of the defensive tackles are available. Chase is not available. But hit my line. I'll let you know if some shit is available. You want Kendall Fuller? Hit my line. We can make something happen. I'll give you give me a 4th round pick. He's yours. We can make some shit happen now. I know Ron and company aren't going to do that. This is why you shouldn't concern yourself with who they're going to move, trying to pick up draft capital. Unless ownership forces the issue, Ron's in full job-saving mode. He's not thinking about trading for draft capital for the next guy. So again, while it would be beneficial to us, because Ron's leaving, he's not staying here. We're going to be here. We're not going anywhere. Ron is. So Ron's not concerned with the long-term health of this organization. His job is to win and win now. So in my mind, maybe the Martys have an opportunity to remain the GMs here. Maybe. I doubt it. I think they're gone too. So we'll see. I'm not going to concern myself with the trade deadline. It's going to come, it's going to go, and we're not going to do anything. That's my guess. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I've been shaking on EB, but this sealed it. He can go too. No better than Scott Turner. Also, 82 wide open on that last play. No Giants in sight. I'd have to go back and watch. I was so disgusted after. Wait, first of all, where was 82 at? Because before Sam could get to the top of his drop, Kayvon Thibodeau was coming off the edge screaming free. So I don't know where 82 was and if he was in Sam's line of sight, but how the hell was Sam supposed to spot anybody on the play other than the guy right in front of his face after breaking the pocket? What I would be interested in was, could Sam have run and picked up the 5 yards? I mean, he made the right decision. The throw was right there. Jahan would have had the first down if he catches the football. He made the right decision, but could he have run for it is the only question I have. I don't know if anybody else was open or not. Jeff Antonio, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jeff writes, what up, Lou? Seems like EB finally made adjustments in the second half. Do you think if he would have made those sooner than the first half, it would have made a difference? Of course. That should have been the game plan from the jump. That shouldn't have been a second half adjustment. You came into this game knowing we were going to be blitzed out of our brains. And you didn't have an answer for that to start the game off? Your answer was to come at halftime? That's the best you got? One of my favorite Dave Chappelle specials, you got to go back in the archives. It's one of his first real stand-ups. And in that one, he did it in DC. Forgot the name of it, but I should know the name of it, but I don't. Can't remember it right now. It'll come to me. But in there, he was riding with his friend Chip. And they get pulled over by the police. And they were speeding. And Chip was racing the guy next to him. And the cop pulls him over and he says to the cop, I didn't know I couldn't do that. And Dave looks at him like, what? And the police officer says, well, now you know, just get out of here. Just get the hell out of here. And Dave looks at Chip. I didn't know you couldn't do that. I didn't know I couldn't do that. He says, that was pretty clever, wasn't it? Because I did know I couldn't do that. You didn't know he was going to blitz us? I'm looking at EB like Dave was looking at Chip. You didn't know they was going to blitz us? And Ron at halftime, hey, we're going to change up the protection. You didn't know you were going to get blitzed. You're going to change up the protections at halftime? Get these guys out of my face, man. Of course it would have made a difference if they would have came into the game knowing what was going to happen and been ready for it. Of course that would have made a difference, Jeff. Of course it would have. Instead of having essentially a quarter and a half, right? Because all we really had was half of the third quarter and the entire fourth of like real offense. Instead of having that, try having 3 quarters or 4 quarters even of actual sustainable offensive opportunities. We had 49 yards of total offense in the first half. Joe Castles, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I'm right there with you, Joe. Palm firmly on forehead right now for me. I'm right there with you. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. William Lee. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Can someone update my QB's processor from Celeron to Pentium? Oh, yeah. Fire EB. Well, he'll be gone at the end of the season. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes? Ron and EB thought Wink was going to break tendencies. Hey, man, I don't really know what to say. I'm baffled. I'm speechless. You know, what's funny is, you know, so many people think that this shit is rocket science, and it's not. You know, this is why I struggle, because I'm a simple man. Like, I see it, I understand it, I internalize it, and then I know what needs to be done. And I don't understand why it's so hard in the NFL, why people make things harder than it needs to be. I've watched enough football to know what's going on here and what we're about to embark upon. This is why I talked about it all week. We're going to get pressure. From on Monday after the win, I talked about the pressure we were getting on Sunday. On Tuesday, we were still talking about Atlanta. I was still talking about, hey, we getting pressure from Wink Martindale. On Wednesday, when we finally supposed to turn the page, I've been talking about pressure from Wink Martindale on Monday. It's Wednesday. You know I'm still talking about it. Thursday it's intensified. Friday, I'm like, look, we gonna get blitzed. Be ready. Son, be ready. You know what's funny, though, is when you watched Mahomes in the Super Bowl against the Bucks, he got sacked a bunch under duress. Same offense. They went out and they revamped it, gave him a shot, and you saw the end results. But Mahomes is similar in that he holds on to the ball. Takes a lot of sacks. Took some bad sacks on Thursday night. I talked about it after the game. Thursday Night Football last week. Took some bad sacks. Nobody says anything because it's Patrick Mahomes. The ones I struggle with are those sacks. The ones where you could have gotten rid of it, you're trying to make a play, and you take a bad sack. Those are the ones Sam had been taking that frustrate me, like Sam. And he threw the ball away today. I saw more throwaways today than I have all season long, probably combined. And he still was sacked 6 times. None of the 6 sacks were on Sam Howell. None of them were, hey, Sam, what you doing, bro? Get rid of the ball. All of them were, damn, it's 2 dudes coming. I don't know where you're going to go, Sam. Just don't fumble. They must have thought Wink was going to switch it up. Hey, I think he's going to play zone, and he's going to play coverage, and he's not going to blitz. Good luck with that. Keith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Keith writes, that was nasty work. Boy, was it ever. 7 punt. Tressway set a career high for punt yards in the first half. So what that tells me is, it's not the fact that you punted 7 times. That's not the first time Tressway has punted 7 times in his career, because he's been here for a long time, and the offense has been bad for a long time. That's not the first time he's punted 7 times. What that tells me, first of all, that tells me how inept both offenses are, because you shouldn't get 7 opportunities to punt in the first half. You should be getting 10 or 11 possessions for the game. We got 7. That means the Giants going 3 and out, or the Giants ain't doing shit and we ain't doing shit. But to make matters worse, the reason he was able to set a new career high was because he was punting the full length of the field every time. We weren't punting from midfield where it was only going to be a net of 34 yards. He's punting the shit out of the ball every time, trying to flip field position. And he did a pretty good job of it today. This was his best game punting, which I never want to say, but that's what it was. You know, he flipped the field all first half long. He was one of the lone bright spots in that first half. No, not one of. He was the bright spot in the first half. He says, special teams was the best thing for us today. No, it wasn't. We had a field goal block. So you can't even give special teams the love that you want to give them. We had a kick block. Sam's process clock is a problem. Has to keep one eye on the line and one eye downfield. You can't quarterback in this league when you don't trust the protection in front of you. And that's why I'm still amazed at Sam's ability to still stand back there and be comfortable. Because there's no way you can be comfortable after the barrage of pressure he was under in the first half of this game. There's no way you can feel comfortable. And the fact that he was even able to take us down the field and get us in a position to either tie the game or win it is insane. It's insane. Daniel Jones, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I'm still outside, Louie, just going to the backyard. That's fine. Outside is outside. In the front of the house, in the back of the house, on the side of the house, outside is outside. Outside is outside. Timothy Santiago, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, hope you're doing well, Lou, but I'm done. I don't blame you. I am doing well. I hope the same can be said for you and yours. Absolutely all-around coaching failure, and we allowed 2 touchdowns for the Giants in the first half, laughing my ass off. They didn't score another point the rest of the game. Of course they did it. That again, I expected the Giants to score 2 touchdowns today. Can't reiterate that enough. I had them scoring 16 in this game. I knew they were going to score 2 touchdowns. Knew what we were going to give up. I thought we were going to be able to score 3 touchdowns. That was going to be the reason we won. Not because the Giants weren't going to do their part. Knew they were going to score. I knew our defense was going to give up 2 touchdowns. I just thought we'd be able to scratch across 3 and win the game. What I didn't account for was EB not accounting for the blitz. I didn't account for 10, 11 penalties, whatever that number was today, killing us on drives. I wasn't accounting for 5 first-half sacks given up of the 6 on the day. I didn't account for EB not having a plan for the blitz until midway through the third quarter. I didn't account for any of that. Your end result is 7 points. Bro, I need to wipe, but I ain't got no TP. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, look, I'm just going to say it. I'm sick of fans defending this defense. It's been the same thing every year. We spent too much on the defense to not be able to dominate this Giants offense. Too much. Again, I'm not here to defend the defense or its coordinator. You give up 14 points in this league, you're supposed to win the game. There's no other way to say that. I mean, I wish I had a better answer for you, but you score the opposition scores 14, you're supposed to find a way to score 15. Find a way to win the game, man. Your defense gives up 2 touchdowns. Find a way to win the game. Look, this defense isn't great. I've laid that out for you guys before the season started. I said I'm worried about this unit because they're going to play better competition. We've seen them get scorched this season against some of the worst offenses, Chicago, Giants, etc., etc. I got no doubts that the Patriots are going to have fun at our expense as well when we see them in a couple of weeks. But you gave up 14 points. This wasn't the 40 we gave up to the Bears, right? You gave up 14 points today, man. you gotta find a way to score, 17 points to win this game, man. Like, that shit is disgusting. Or as Keith said, that's some nasty work. To score 7 points, that's nasty. You deserve to lose the game. Frank McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, you were right. We're streak breakers, man. That was a hard game to watch. I blame all the coaches for not making adjustments earlier. Why don't we use the screen game more? Very frustrating. Sick to my stomach. That was my feeling after the game. Immediately thereafter I was sick to my stomach. Not because I was surprised. We already talked about this. We already knew that this was a realistic possibility. More than likely that this would be the outcome of the game. I was sick to my stomach because the Giants did everything humanly possible to give us this game. Everything. Remember, I didn't rant after the Bears game. You know why? Because the Bears kicked our ass. That's why. The Bears beat the shit out of us. You don't miss the kick. If Joey Slye doesn't miss the kick, I still think we would have come back and win 31-30. But they scored 40 points. They kicked our ass. We can talk about this play or that play or this or that. You gave up 40 points. They put a 40 burger on your skull. You got to live with that. Ain't no if and. You got to live with a 40 spot on your skull to the worst team in football at the time. The Giants scored 14 points. Turned it over twice. Missed a field goal and dropped a pick 6. And you scored 7 and lost. Let that shit seep into your brain and let that marinate for a second. Just ponder on that. The Giants said, bro, we 1-5. We ain't doing shit with this dub. You take it. And we said, come on, New York. You trying to get Caleb Williams or Drake May. No, you take the dub. And the Giants are like, no, man, you're not listening to me. We want you to keep Ron and Jack and EB. We want you to make the playoffs, go win a game. You take the dub. And we said, no. Those boys are already fired. We can't do shit for them. They gone already. You're not getting Caleb Williams and Drake May. You take the dub. And they said, you know what? You're right. Those guys are fired already. We'll take it. Don't worry about it. We'll find a way to F up down the road and we'll still be in a position to get one of those dudes without your help. I don't know about that. We're going to do our part. You probably get us again on the in week 11 at home. We're going to do our part to make sure that Daniel Jones not only is your starting quarterback next year, but some bum is behind him, some young bum that you drafted that's going to come in and stink it up. Just make sure it's Bo Nix or somebody. Can't be one of the top 2. Let it be somebody else. We're going to do our part. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Or thank you for being a member for 23 months. Who writes, Commanders coaches equals 3 old men. Facts. They came up in a different brand of football. You want to know why the Dolphins offense looks the way it looks? They're young. They're innovative. They're not jaded by 1980s and 90s football, right? And, it's crazy because EB isn't this 3 yards in a cloud of dust dude that I thought he could have been. He could have been an old curmudgeon. He's actually too far at the other end of the spectrum. He don't believe in getting under center and handing the ball off. On 3rd and 1, he wants to get in the gun and hand it off. Like, it's to the point where I'm like, bro, you doing too much to go out of your way to make sure that you're innovative and doing creative shit. And you're really not. You're doing destructive stuff. Like, do the little stuff. Like, it's okay to get on the center on 3rd and 1 and not run it and run a play action like you did last week for a touchdown against Atlanta. That's okay too. Just get under center, bro. The touchdown run by Brian Robinson. What do you know? A run under the center. Who would have guessed that would have scored a touchdown? It's not hard. We just make shit harder than it needs to be, which is why I'm done. Because we are sitting on our couches and we can see the shit happening and they can't. For some reason, I am confused. I'm confused. Tori Thompson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tori Thompson writes, every game, we don't change our game plan until the second half, and that's every game. Again, what are y'all doing Monday through Saturday? Really Monday through Wednesday, because that's when you install the game plan. It's Wednesday. What are y'all doing in those 3 days that you have to prepare before the players actually get the game plan for the week during practice and in the install? What are y'all? I'm confused. What do you think? The pass protection is magically going to get better? Sam's just going to start getting rid of the football? Because, again, it's funny. Y'all want to blame Sam, too. And they show the replay. Terry's covered. Jahan's covered. Logan ain't separating from nobody. Everybody's covered. And I don't know what y'all want Sam to do when there's nobody for him to get to. Like, there was a play where it's 3rd and forever, like 3rd and 14. And they only rush 4, and they still almost get to Sam. And Antonio just leaked out of the backfield. And Sam's already like, take it, hot potato, right? He's about to get sacked again. First possession of the third quarter. He's about to get sacked again, and he just dumps it off. Antonio just happens to turn around. He catches it, makes a guy miss, fights, gets 12 yards, but it's 4th and 2, and we got a punt. And I'm just saying to myself, that's utter ridiculousness. And then they show the replay. Jahan's covered, Terry's covered, Logan's covered. Where the hell is he supposed to go with the ball? Where is he supposed to go? And then the back gets out super late. He barely had an outlet. It's ridiculous. Every game we come in, and it's like we don't know what the other team does. We just going to do what we do. That's not how this shit works. That's not how any of this works. This ain't 1992. You don't get to just say, hey, we run the football. Stop us. Every week is supposed to be its own entity. What doesn't that team do well? They don't stop the run. Heavy dose of the run this week. What is this team? They don't stop the pass. They got the 31st ranked pass defense. They're getting a heavy diet of Sam Howell throwing the football. That's what your game plan is supposed to reflect. This is a blitz-happy team. We got to be prepared for that. Short passing games, screens, things to offset the blitz. That's what they're going to get a steady diet of. Next week, you might not see a single screen, or you might not see a single slant or short pass because this team allows you to push the ball down the field. But every week, it's the same shit. Don't matter who we playing, what they do well, don't do well, we doing the same shit. And it's not working, by the way. It's ridiculous. Bro, I need to wipe, but I don't have no TP. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes, you might think, why not getting on the offense? Oh, they're guilty too. Everybody. Our D has all the first rounders, all the money, and they went up against a practice squad. JDR got to go, man. No, but defense is your thing. Defense is your thing. I know you're not absolving the offense of wrongdoing. They haven't been good, and you're gonna hold them accountable too. But defense is your thing. So, wow, this week is not going well at all. Jesus. Broncos are beating the Packers. The Steelers are beating the Rams. Jesus. I like where I'm at with the Chargers and Chiefs. They hanging in there. I still think they're gonna win. They get a lot of points. I didn't expect them to give up that many points. The original dream. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Somebody get Jahan Dotson. That's what we're doing. Fire Puerto Rican Jeff Fisher. Is that what we're doing? Jahan Dotson. That's what we do. I can't. Y'all, I can't with y'all, man. Hey, man. Washington football fan, WGIL. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, no need to interview EB for head coach anywhere. Look, I'm not going to shit on the man. I just know he's not the right man for the job here. Best of luck in your future endeavors, wherever else you end up. Generally, with guys like him, he's going to go back to Kansas City. That's usually how that works. He just won't be the offensive coordinator unless Matt Nagy gets the job again, but that's not going to happen. He'll just go back on that staff. He'll be a part of their brain trust. And, this was his opportunity. This was his chance. And so far through 8 games, 7, he's blown it. Or he's blowing it. Nobody watching this offense all season has been impressed with Eric Bieniemy. There have been moments, there have been flashes, but nothing we haven't played a full 4 quarters of consistent football all season long. And you can blame the offensive line, you can blame this and that, Sam, whomever. You blame whatever you want. I'm always going to put the onus on the coaching staff to get the most out of your players. And again, when I feel like there's talent, when there's no talent, it ain't but so much you can do. We have talent. So I don't want to hear about the offensive line. I don't want to hear it, because you can get more out of this offense if you call a better game. Period. I've seen coaches get more from less. Just as bad of an offensive line, less talent, got more out of their offense. I don't want to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it. I got no beef with Eric Bieniemy. Good luck to him. Like I said, in future endeavors, you just can't be the coach here. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes? I thought the Giants were hurting on the O-line. They were. And look, we sacked Tyrod Taylor at least 4 times today. Let's see. We sacked Tyrod 4 times today. Like, their line was not good. We didn't apply pressure. We rushed 4 pretty much the entire day. The only time we blitzed was when we had the Cinco package out there. That's not an advantage for us. That's advantage offense. Because John Ridgeway ain't getting no pressure on the quarterback. So we didn't really blitz. That's why they looked like a formidable offensive line. There were times where Chase won, Tez won, Duran won, John, whatever, and they got to Tyrod. But for the most part, he was back there chilling. 3rd and 12 in the red zone, back there chilling. Never sped up his clock. We didn't do what they did to us. All I'm asking you to do is apply pressure. See how they handle it. If they cook us, they got us. That's the thing I love about Wink Martindale. You say what you want, and he's been fired because of this in Baltimore. The man is going to stay true to who he is no matter what. Last year, they had Fabian Moreau and a bunch of bums out in the secondary. I like Cordell Flott, but Xavier McKinney too. But, Julian Love, basic, right? They had a lot of, basic-ass corners, and he didn't give a shit. He still was bringing the kitchen sink. They got 2 rookies out there, Trey Hawkins and Deontay Bates. He don't give a shit. I'm still coming. Stop me. At least he knows who he is. Jack has no clue what he wants to do. It's all about being able to adapt and adjust in this league. This is what I like to do at my core. But you know what? That might not work this week. Here's what we're going to do. Wink is like, I don't give a shit what it is you do. This is what we do. This is what I do. And that you ultimately, you're going to get fired doing that. If you can't adjust, because you can't blitz everybody. And he didn't blitz as much last weekend. So that's a bit of an adjustment for him. But in this league, you got to adapt and adjust. And we don't. And when we do, it's too late. Bro, I need to wipe, but I ain't got no TP. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes? Yet after last week, 3 turnovers. Nah, don't give me that. It's been the same damn thing. Ron's got to go, and JDR's got to go. If EB don't improve, he can leave with them. Changes needed. I don't care if we restart. Now, that's happening. That's not up for debate anymore. The only thing, and I had said this after the Bears game, EB, you got 12 games to show whether or not you're a head coach or not in this league. You got head coaching material, and you're a candidate. Right now, EB serves no purpose more than just satisfying the Rooney Rule for us. Serves no purpose in terms of after the season's done. He can't be here next year. He can't be your offensive coordinator. As much as I would love Sam to stay in the same system, I've seen enough to know that EB doesn't get it. And that's disappointing to me because I didn't think that's what we were signing up for. I told you that's the thing that has disappointed me the most this season. It's not Ron. It's not Jack. I know those dudes already. We've seen enough from them. EB was the wild card. He always was the wild card this year. Why did we have confidence? Why did some of us have more confidence than others? For me, it's 2 reasons. Sam, EB. That's it. The only reason I thought things would be different this year is because we had a better play caller and we got a quarterback. Well, the quarterback has done his part. Has he shown some youth, inexperience at times? Absolutely. That's what you expect. That's baked into your expectations for Sam, or at least for me. I can't speak for you. That was baked into my expectations. He was going to have some flaws, some things that we were going to have to continue to work on. It wasn't going to happen overnight. But EB, this is surprising to me. Didn't see this coming. Thought we would be a lot more efficient offensively, better situational awareness. Thought we would really have a handle on what other teams were trying to do to us and how we would attack them. And that's just not what I've seen from Eric Bieniemy through 7 games. Howell, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, hey, Louie, what's wrong with Dotson? I understand EB doesn't get him involved enough, but his drops are worrisome. He had 4 to 5 drops last year. He has 3 to 4 now. He came out of the draft as the #1 pass catcher. It's tough to put a finger on it. Again, that's not an easy catch. Just like I was on Bieniemy against the Bears about not diving, that wasn't going to be easy, but at least give me the attempt. Jahan tried to reach behind him and catch it. Again, if you guys want to call it a drop, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Yeah. I don't think anything's wrong with Jahan Dotson. I think he's having a rough little stretch here, but he's still a damn good receiver. So I'm not tripping about it. Derek B. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes 99, 25, 94, thumbs up. O-line and EB, thumbs down. Want more, 23, and 1 has to help Sam. I don't disagree with anything you just said there. Juice did give up the big ball on the double move, but he was pretty solid all day long. Got no complaints about Juice. He's the one thing I know Juice to be. He hasn't surprised me. He literally is what we thought he was when we drafted him. Long, rangy corner, sticky coverage underneath. If you get him running down the field, you can get by him. And he's not going to pick off passes. He's everything we thought he was coming out of Minnesota. Duran with the huge forced fumble and the recovery. Chase was outstanding. O-line and EB, definitely thumbs down. Definitely thumbs down. What a struggle it was. Watching those two, particularly at work, the O-line and EB, it was tough today. It's a bitter pill to swallow. Want more of 23? I don't know how I feel about him yet, because it feels like you downgrade him from Brian Robinson. But I can tell you this about 23, he's more decisive. But I get nervous because he was a fumbler in college, and he already fumbled once in the preseason. So I'm always nervous when he touches it. And teams know. I see them reaching for the football when he's got it. But clearly, this is turning into an Isaiah Pacheco situation last year where EB probably really liked Pacheco, and they got him in there, and he took Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's spot. It seems like EB's starting to lean toward, and I always felt like there was something off with EB and Brian Robinson. I don't feel like he ever really truly gives Brian Robinson his credit and gives him the opportunities I feel like he should have. And Chris Rodriguez is getting in there now. This could be the beginning of the end of B-Rob as your main ball carrier. He had 8 carries today to B-Rob. Chris Rodriguez had 7. And again, I don't know how to feel about that, because I don't love Chris Rodriguez. You got duplicates, but I think Brian Robinson is the better of the two. So I don't feel like more 23 really does anything. But we'll see. Bro, I need to wipe, but I ain't got no TP. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, fans delusional, man. Defense is trash. Sam was bad today. Bad. No, you're delusional if you think Sam was bad today. Sam was not great today. Sam was the reason, once again, the Giants and a combination of Sam Howell was the reason we even had the football with a chance at the end of this game. The defense making some plays in the second half, obviously. The Giants, dropping intercepts, pick sixes, and things of that nature. And Sam, delivering down the stretch, giving us the shot. Sam shouldn't even got that last playoff. Y'all want to kill Jahan. He should have been sacked. The man had this Tony Romo spin out of the bitch just to even get a chance to throw the damn football. You forgot about that too? Unbelievable. EB was bad. Accept it. Don't want to hear no excuses for this BS. None. Fire Ron and JDR. We can argue all day long because I already told you, I ain't standing for the Sam slander. I ain't standing for it. You want to go individual plays? Yeah, there was some missed opportunities. Just a miss. That throw to Logan on that third down. I need it. I need you to make a better throw. I need Logan to catch the ball, though. I need Terry to catch that ball on the sidelines. Jahan is a tough ass. I need it, though, bro. I need it. Anyway, I digress. Washington football fan, WGIL. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Make Ron remove the do your job sign. No, they need to put it on his door in his office. And all the coaching staff, I know they all got doors. Put that shit on their door too. Do your job. DC N1. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Bae, can you give me another water? Can you give me another water? Lukewarm one out the pantry. Thank you. Lou, the new GM and coach, should pick their QB. I don't want that responsibility. I don't. I don't. And I don't envy the person that's going to have to do it, but that's why they get paid the big bucks. I don't get paid the big bucks. So I don't want that kind of responsibility. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. But I can tell you this much. I feel like I could do a better job than some of them. I don't know about necessarily picking players as much as I think I could put together a better game plan, or at least call a better game. I feel like I can do that. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? It's no longer your salmon with cheese, Louie. It's straight tuna fish over here, and that shit stinks. Gonna be a long season now. I don't have to double salmon with cheese anymore. You know, Sam's proven to me in the face of adversity what he's doing. And I'll go to bat for him. This was not a great game by any stretch of the imagination for Sam, but for us to even be where we were, I mean, look at his numbers in the first half of this game. I think he was like 5 of 17 for like 30-something yards and an interception in the first half. And I still think that interception either got tipped or he got hit as he was throwing it. Or it could have just been he just put too much air on it. But it felt like it just looked weird because the pocket was crumbling around him as he tried to drop that ball in there over that defender. But he might have just made a bad throw. You know, great play by Deontay Banks, too, to sag underneath that and pick it off and get his first career pick. But Sam ended up 22 of 42, which is just awful, right? Just barely over 50% completion percentage. But when you think about where he started at, most of those incompletions, he was 9 of 13 on that final drive of the game. Like, most of his incompletions came in the first half when he was under duress. It's a tough situation to be in, and I feel bad for him because he gonna have to deal with it the rest of the season. Like, it's not going away. Keith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Time of possession 31-14. Did nothing with it. And but that goes to show you that the Giants weren't doing anything on offense either, right? Like this was sloppy on both sides. Like it wasn't just like I said, this wasn't the Bears game where you just got thoroughly dominated. The Giants stink, right? And we stink too, right? Again, like I can't stress this enough. They're garbage and we're worse because we lost to them. So this wasn't about the time of possession being dominated by like we didn't have enough offensive snaps. We were 0 of 10 on third downs at one point. We might have converted 2. I know we converted 1 on the Terry deep ball, right? The first Terry deep ball where he got smashed. So that wasn't a dime from Sam, right? When he finally got some time, that other throw to Terry in between double coverage again wasn't another dime from Sam. Man's getting his brains bashed in, but he's still dropping dimes in there. Again, I don't know what some of y'all be watching or what y'all expecting. I don't know. But let's see what the third. I'm gonna go with. We were 2. I'm gonna say we were 2 of 15. 1 of 15. So it was just a 1 to Terry on the sideline. Yikes! Who you beating doing that? Who you beating going 1 of 15 on third downs? And most of that was either sacks or penalties on early downs that put you behind the sticks. Who you beating going 1 of 15 on third downs? Show me. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rob Yu writes, even if they fired JDR and Ron in season, who would take over? EB? I'll pass. Let them finish out and clean house. I don't think anybody's getting fired during the season, and nor should they. This isn't, like I said, there's no benefit. Now, GM, I'd be definitely open to getting rid of these dudes and starting that GM search nice and early. I got no issues with that. Go ahead, fire those bastards right now if you want. And start talking to teams about assistant GMs. You can start doing that shit now. But you can't do anything about the coach because these guys are actively working every day. Assistants, offensive coordinator, those guys are actively working for the teams that currently work for them now. You can't, do anything with them. But the GMs, the assistant, they ain't doing shit during the course of the week except checking the waiver wire. They ain't doing shit. Hey, let's talk to this team's assistant GM. They can get that process started ASAP. JB Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, season is done, 100%. I won't go that far because, again, you know how this league works. It's a week-to-week league. The Patriots beat the Bills today. They were 1-5 just like the Giants were. Shit happens. That's what this league is, to be honest with you. I think we're going to be in the mix at the end. We're not going to make the playoffs. But the problems are habitual. Everybody gone, including Sam. Howell can't unlearn holding the ball. He's been known for all college. I don't think you can take – I don't want him to not hold the ball. I don't want him taking sacks. But I don't want him to lose what makes him Sam Howell, which is the ability to extend and make things happen. Just like I would never ask Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or some of these quarterbacks that get sacked because they hold on to the ball too long. I wouldn't ask Josh Allen to not be Josh Allen. You take the good with the bad. He's going to turn over. He's going to do some stupid shit, but he's also going to make incredible plays that few others in the league can make. I'm not going to ask Josh Allen to not be Josh Allen. Again, if you don't want Josh Allen to be Josh Allen, then you scheme it up so that he's not holding on to the ball. Again, I don't know however many more ways I can explain to you how this works. A quarterback is like a kid. They get away with what you allow them to get away with. You don't want Sam holding the ball. It's your job to scheme it up so he doesn't hold on to the ball. There are ways to do that. We don't. But everybody's got their opinion. I'm not arguing with y'all. I'm not going to argue with y'all about Sam. Some of y'all wouldn't know what a quarterback looked like if it smacked you in the damn face. I had somebody today talking to me about Taylor Heineke. Like, I'm not having this discussion with you, bro. I'm on to the next one. I'm like, if that's how you feel, I don't have the mental capacity. HTTR for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, we should already be looking for a head coach and a DC. Again, you can make a list, but you can't talk to anybody. So I don't want them hiring anybody. I want them hiring a GM who then hires the head coach. I want a real hierarchy. I want it to look like what it's supposed to look like. For too long, we've been doing shit all, bass backwards and scrambled. We'll go hire the head coach first, and then he'll get the GM, or we'll hire the offensive coordinator like we did when we had Jim Zorn. Hire the offensive coordinator first, then ask the coach, is this dude cool? Are you cool with this? Don't you think you should have asked me that before you hired him? Now I got to talk to this guy to see if I like him. Like, we done doing it like that, right? Get the GM, let him pick the coach, and then let the coach pick his staff. That's what we should be doing. Sean Roberts, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Sean writes, all I can do is laugh, Louie. I just want this season to be over at this point. Eric, I don't know what the F he is doing. No screens at all. I just can't. This ain't 2019. 2019 is the only season in recent memory where I was sitting there just saying, I just want this to be over. I don't want to go through the rest of the games on the schedule. I just want it to be over. That's not how I'm feeling. I think there's more growth and development in Sam to come. I would like him to not get beat up every week, but that's probably going to be the cost of doing business at this point. And I want to see him continue to grow and prosper despite, this offensive line and a play caller that refuses to protect him. I'm seeing strides from Sam. He threw it away today. That more times today than I had seen the first 6 games probably combined. Excuse me. He threw the ball away today. So now I want to see him in a game where the defensive coordinator isn't going to blitz 70% of the time. I want to see what he looks like in a game where he can take some of the things he did today from a throwing the ball away standpoint and be able to actually get into an offensive rhythm when you're not having blitzes sent at you left and right, and see what he can do. So I get the ones that want the season to be over. If Sam's not your guy, then there's really no reason for you to be here. Why are you here? Like, there's no reason to stick around. If you don't believe in Sam, there's really no reason to still be here. To be honest with you, I mean, who are we fooling? We scored 7 points today against the worst team in the second worst team in the NFC. We scored 7 points against them. Who are you really here for if it's not Sam? DCN1, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Kyle Smith for GM, much better talent evaluator. He was cool, but I don't like. I think we often put guys on a pedestal here from a talent perspective, talent evaluator perspective. We did it with Scott McCloughan. When you go back and look at those drafts, they weren't really all that good. Now, were they? Kyle Smith might be all right, but that 2020 draft class, I mean, as we look back on it, it's okay. I don't know how much input he had, so I don't know if I necessarily need to lay that in his lap because Ron probably had a lot more say so than he did. But I mean, that's the one that I charged to his account. But I don't know. We'll see. Frank McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Lou, I've been a fan for 4 decades. With all the bad seasons, it's so frustrating when the team has talent to win and we underperform. That is a leadership issue. That said, proud of Sam Howell for hanging in there after that beating. Frank, I want to thank you for your unwavering support and your generosity, first and foremost. So thank you. Secondly, I think that is, after EB being disappointing, is the next reason why I'm frustrated, because while this roster still has plenty of holes in it, literally, you guys cried about Barton. This is why I can't fool with none of y'all. Y'all, get Cody Barton out of there. He's so bad. Okay, Barton got hurt today. You know who they put in the game? This is what you asked for. This is what you asked for. You wanted Cody Barton out of the game. Get you some damn Mayo then. I keep telling y'all, they're not putting in Khalil Hudson. He don't play middle linebacker. Get that through your thick skulls. If Barton is out, Mayo is in. But nah, y'all, They need to put Kalik in the game. Kalik was getting work today too. We be turning dudes into mythical figures around here. All of a sudden, Kalik Hudson is Dick Buckus. He's Ray Lewis, all rolled into one. Cut that shit out, man. Y'all stop that bullshit. Y'all kill me with that, man. We got talent. We got holes on this roster, but this is a roster that's better than 3 and 4. With the schedule that we've played, with the likes of the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Bears, the Giants, the Falcons, we should no less than 5 wins. The 2 teams we should have lost to were the Bills and the Eagles, and we should have beat the damn Eagles. Let they monkey ass off the damn hook. This should be a 6-win team right now. And because of coaching, we're a 3 and 4 ball club. Let that shit sink in. A lot of y'all too dense to understand how that shit works, though. Thank you for the super chat, Frank. You get it. You get it. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ethan writes, this is worse than the Bears game because it's fan. I told y'all were going to feel worse. I mean, the Bears stink. See, this was the problem with the Bears game, right? The Bears game was you expected to win, and it never entered into your mind you could lose the game. That's the problem with the Bears game. It never crossed my mind. It wasn't, hey, we might lose this game against. I never thought about us losing that game against Chicago. I wanted to blow them out. I was being greedy. But I was like, I'll just take a win, but I would love to blow these. I wanted to make a statement on primetime television. That's where my head was at. They were talking us up the whole week. Kirk Herbstreit went on the what's the damn punter? Pat McAfee show. And he's like, man, these Commanders are better than people think. And I think you're going to see that. Sam Howell is really playing well. Eric Bieniemy has. And they were talking us up. We were gaining momentum because we had just come off that Eagles loss. And who didn't feel good after you stacked those games on top of each other? Who didn't feel good coming out of that Denver game? And then saying, damn, that Bills game sucked. We moved the ball, though. That shit sucked. And then do what we did against Philly and say, all right, man, let's go get the. We were talking Greek, man. We were talking so greasy after that. I came on here, I was like, 5-2, we going to see your ass with first place on the line. 5-2. We was talking greasy. We lost 2 out of our last 3 to 2 of the worst teams in football. A wise man once said, you are what your record says you are. So we 3 and 4. But truth be told, with a better coaching staff, this is a 6-win ball club right now. And I argue with anybody about that. I'll argue with anybody. The only game that we just got our ass whooped was the Bills game. We would have been better prepared against the Bears. There ain't no way Justin Fields is going to have the kind of night that he had. Ain't no way DJ Moore is going to have the kind of night he's going to have that he had with a better staff. It just ain't no way. Ricky Lowry, it's worse because now we got to deal with Giants fans talking shit. You saw Giants, Greg Giants 10. Don't spend all, don't score all your 7 points at once. That's the shit we got to deal with. That's why this is worse than the Bears, because the Giants are ass. The Giants are cheats. How I'm supposed to look somebody else in the division in the face and say something to them, and I can't even beat the damn Giants. The Cowboys beat them 40-0. And we scored 7 points. And I'm supposed to look somebody else in the face and with a straight face and talk shit? How? Yeah, that shit was worse. Ricky Lowry, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, do you think not giving the run much priority in minicamp and training camp affects the run at this point? Do we use the motion for show or actually be a part of the play? The motion is really more so to kind of figure out what the defense is in, man versus zone. What kind of a look are you getting? So you know where to attack. As far as running the football and the priority that was or wasn't placed on it, EB has no interest in running the football consistently. He's proven that through 7 weeks now. So we can give up on this whole notion of I thought when EB got here, the Chiefs run under center. The Chiefs run the football from under. In the first preseason game, we were using a fullback. I thought we were going to have a diverse offense. I was excited when I saw Alex Arma. I was pushing Alex Arma making the roster. Why? Because I thought we were actually going to have a fullback. We were actually going to get under center. We refused to do so. Only in extreme cases do we get under center. It's like pulling teeth to get them to get under center. I am shocked at how one-dimensional we are. You couldn't have paid me before the season to get me to admit that we were going to be one-dimensional. I thought there would be some semblance of balance. This shit is all on Sam. Again, whether the fans realize it or not, the shit is all on Sam. This is Kirk Cousins circa 2015 through 2017 all over again. No run game. Defense is leaky. It's on the quarterback. And if he don't get the shit done, it's all his fault. Barrett Downing, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Barrett Downing. My guy, BD, thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, hey, Lou, don't worry. I got my pooper scooper to clean up the staff for you. We're going to need multiple scoopers, man. We're going to need multiple pooper scoopers for them. Fireman West, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My man, Fireman West, writes, all the Snyder leftovers can go. Yeah, I think we're getting to the point now where we got to officially clean that whole thing out. Just get that stench out of the building as a whole. And let's just start anew, right? Let's just get this thing. Like, this needed to happen. It's painful because somebody like myself who's hyper competitive, I just don't like losing, especially the teams like the Giants. You get beat by the Bills, you get beat by the Eagles. They're a better team. You just tip your cap. You say, you got me, man. What you want me to do, right? The Bears and the Giants and losing the team, like that shit bothers me. It bothers me. And, what's ultimately going to happen is you're going to be at a point where you're going to be right in the middle of the draft. You might be outside of the range of an elite tackle, right? And that's frustrating to me. I want an elite left tackle. Honestly, my focus immediately would be on the offensive line because Sam Howell can play football. And anybody who's watched him that has football eyes knows he can play football. Now it's a matter of, can we protect him up front? So I wouldn't mind spending 2 or 3 picks on the offensive line, or 2 draft picks and then a guy in free agency, spending some free agency bucks on an offensive lineman of note. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. I don't know what Gates' contract or why them shit shouldn't preclude you from moving on. Like, I would have a real competition between Ricky Stromberg and Nick Gates next year for the starting center position. Love Gates, but boy, he got work today. I need to see if Ricky Stromberg can't be any better, then I need to go get me one. Because if that's the best Gates has got to offer, and he was fighting his balls off, he just ain't good enough. I need better. Grande Groove, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Grande Groove writes, I've seen offensive and defensive coordinators do better with less. What you saying, man? What you saying, Grande Groove? Because I feel the same way. What you saying? I've seen them do a hell of a lot more with less. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. William Lee writes, Sam throwing suicide balls to Terry. Overhead balls to Logan, behind the back throws to Jahan. Sorry, Lou, not him. Again, we're not watching the same game, William. I want you to take your ass behind the offensive line and see how you would be throwing the football. I would love to see you do it, William. Because this shit ain't easy when you're getting your ass whooped and then you finally get a chance to breathe, but there's still not a clean pocket in front of you. I'm not telling you that Sam was his best today, because he was not. There were throws, I'm like, come on, Sam. You can't miss that throw, bro. You calling the ball that Terry caught a suicide ball? Terry would tell you 10 times out of 10, throw me that ball. Give me that chance. I want that rock. That ain't no suicide ball. That's one-on-one coverage, William. Or are you a part of this soft generation of fans that, oh, man, I don't want my guy getting hit? William, it's football, bro. That's a dime in one-on-one with the safety coming over late because Sam beat him with the throw. That's a dime. That's not a suicide ball, okay? Again, a suicide ball is the one that Logan Thomas caught in the end zone against Denver. That's a suicide ball. That's not what he just threw to Terry. Again, get your shit straight, William. He wasn't great today. But if Sam is the person that you come to me bitching about after today's performance, we ain't got shit to talk about. Because we can run down a list of shit before we get to Sam as to why we lost this game. It's a list of culprits that we get to before we get to Sam. If you're talking to me about Sam, we ain't got shit to talk about. We ain't got a damn thing to talk about. Rob U, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rob U writes, why didn't Ron call a timeout in the first half? Rob, I wish I had the answer for you. Literally, they panned to Ron directly after the delay of game, and he was like this. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, huh? I mean, Rob, you can't make this stuff up, Rob. You. When the offense was struggling, just blows my mind. Shaking my damn head. I don't really know about. I don't know how you do it, man. Washington football fan WGIL writes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, at the end of the day, it's the end of the season. Sound like EB there. Look, you can't make the playoffs if you can't beat the Bears and the Giants. Who are we fooling? You can't make the playoffs if your quarterback is about to set the record for most sacks in the NFL season. You can't make the playoffs with these types of things happening. And you can't make the playoffs with a staff that is incapable of getting their team prepared to beat inferior competition. You can't win consistently with the issues that we have. So yes, the season is theoretically not over, but it's over. You see the writing on the wall. Again, I told you this after the Bears game. I'm outside for Sam. I ain't outside for Ron or Jack or EB. I'm outside for Sam. That's it. Cypher XD. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, can we be honest though? Giants is our reflection. I don't agree with that. Because if you gave us the Giants coaching staff, I don't think we having the same discussion. I really don't. I don't think we're that far apart as I would like us to be, you know. But part of the reason we play tight games against the Giants is because we are so closely related in how our rosters are constructed and how we play football. I don't want to admit it, but you're probably closer to being right than I would like, because they're so bad. I don't want to admit that we're looking in the mirror, but what are you going to do? Right? You're probably right, but I don't want to admit that shit, and I'm not going to, because that hurts. But you're probably right. You're probably right. Zoe Life, no life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, EB West Coast gun. Run it is can go. Runitis, excuse me. EB West Coast gun runitis can go. Where is Cole Turner against man? Where are pick plays like that Bijan play? League was right about EB. It's comical. I don't know if we've seen a pick play other than when we run the sprint outs. I don't know if we've seen just a basic pick play where you got 2 slants and a flat combo, or just a slant and flat combo. You don't have to have 3 receivers. You can do it with 2. I don't know if we've seen a ton of pick plays. Like, again, this offensive shit ain't that hard. I just feel like we make it harder than it needs to be. We don't make it tough on the opposition to defend us. We do basic shit. EB has some good concepts as to, pushing the ball down the field, but you need time for that, which we don't have. Everybody that watches is, man, these are some great concepts. If you pushing it 15 to 25 yards down the field, it is. When you got time, it is. What happens when you don't? That's the issue. Let me look at these games real quick, man, because it's nasty out here in these streets right now. At least the Packers are fighting. Chargers are fighting. Steelers and Rams are tied. I got a chance to lose like 8-9 games this week. This shit is crazy. This shit is nasty right now. Cardinals and Seahawks fighting. That's family business, though. You know how that go. Jesus. I would have loved. I mean, I've been crying for more Cole Turner this season, especially against man. We ain't getting it. They're gonna keep trotting Logan out there, and at this point, I don't care. Logan's gone after the season too. So again, it's a lot of stuff that probably won't be here next year, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I got a boogie jamming. Yeah, damn sure I do. Yeah, let me get it's some Kleenex right here. Thank you, man. Thank you, Jay Hunter Lee. Y'all got me out here in these streets. Thank you. Got me out here in these streets looking raggedy. Nose got boogies jamming and shit. Boogie Wonderland in my nose. Hey, Boogie Wonderland. All in my shit, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Shame on y'all. What I look like?
You look good though.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Jay Hunter Lee. Appreciate that, man. All right. 24-year Snyder survivor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, if you didn't get it by now, you're right nostril, bro. But what is sad? Okay, so you too, Snyder survivor. Appreciate y'all, man. But what's sad is the season isn't really over because of the staff players we have. It is. Shaking my head. It's over because this staff is incapable of preparing the players to go out and win on a consistent basis. I remember Terry talking on the Pivot podcast, and he talked about last year they would call plays in the huddle, and Terry's like, this shit ain't gonna work. Like the players knew this shit wasn't gonna work. EB sold them a dream because of his success. They just took EB at face value, like he gonna come in here and as a player, that's what you do. You blindly buy in because you want to believe a dude that has been to the AFC Championship game 5 years in a row, that's won, 2 Super Bowls. You want to believe that this dude is gonna come in here and be the difference maker. I know I did. I fell for a hook, line, and sinker. But the fact of the matter is, our game plans on a weekly basis aren't good enough. They aren't. Defensively, we're never prepared when the game starts. As a team, we're never prepared when the game starts. Ron said at halftime, we're going to switch up some of the offensive blocking schemes. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that information? What that tells me is you weren't prepared for the blitz when the game started. Jay Hunter Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. All right, I appreciate you looking out for the kid, man. Making sure I get my shit straight. I think I'm good now. This is what happens when you got I need to trim my damn nose hairs, being honest with you. I stay with some spider webs in my shit. And every so often you get caught. I think I'm straight now. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help to have a big ass nose too. So anyway, Frank Brown, good looking out, Jay Hunter Lee, and 24-year Snyder survivor. Frank Brown, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Frank Brown writes, "What's up, Lou? We checked the body, the dead body. It was a zombie, and it ate our ass alive." Man, we're not supposed to be losing games like this. It's still NHL. Yikes. Oh, man. Yeah, I think if they were dead. They're still dead. Their season's still dead. I think it was a zombie. We got bit, and we're dead too now. I think that's the best way to look at it. Because I told you next week, they might not score a touchdown against the Jets next week. The Jets are on a bye. We know that defense is live. They're going to be out hunting. I don't give a damn if it's Tyrod or if it's Daniel. They're going to sack whomever is under perfect. You know what? The alarm going off is perfect. My house is on fire. Just like this organization is on fire right now. Everything is burning around us. Shit's on fire. And our coach is standing in the middle of it with his arms folded, just looking as lost as you can possibly look. He's just as benign as it gets. Anyway, yeah, we some zombies now. They shit dead and our shit dead too. You can't lose to the Giants and Bears and think you're going anywhere but home. Chaotic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Chaotic, right? Hey Lou, I stopped getting mad and started laughing, going, yep, could have seen that coming. Anywho, I won a couple of GS today on bets, so I'll live. Got you. Hey, you got to find a way to spin this into a positive. If you can make a couple of bucks on the side, hey, do you, man? Do you? Will Diggs, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, got to re-sign Chase, let Montez walk. I would trade Montez. But you can't. You can't keep both of them. Again, I'm not sold on Chase just yet. Let me see more of this because he did what he was supposed to do today, which I'm not knocking him down for that. I'm lifting him up because that's what you're supposed to do when you got food in front of you. You're supposed to eat. Justin Pugh is in front of you. You're supposed to eat and eat good, mopping. I'm talking about you got all kinds of crumbs and shit all over your face. He did what he was supposed to do. Let me see him do that against Joy Mailata next week. We having the same conversation, then we need to start having that real conversation about bringing Chase back and getting rid of, Tez or whomever. Niles J, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Really appreciate you. Mob, y'all know what to do. Show Niles J some love. Welcome him with open arms. Let him know what it's like to be a member of the squad. Welcome to the squad, Niles J. Remington 3221. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you, Remington 3221. Swaggy P, been a member for 12 months. 1 year anniversary. Shout out to Swaggy P. Odd weeks, oh sucks. Even weeks, odd looks elite. Hashtag HTTC. I wouldn't classify last week as elite. That's not the word I would use for last week's offensive performance. The offense doesn't look like a dumpster fire in even weeks. And in odd weeks, we look like a train wreck. So we've already acknowledged, because that goes with the consistency thing that I've talked about, which we lack. So am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised at all. Am I disappointed? You damn right I am. You're damn right I am. Christopher McLaughlin, my guy, Christopher. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Chris, thank you for your generosity and support. Who writes, "Hey Lou, what's up, Chris? Hope all is well with you and the family. Likewise, Chris. Likewise. I said that my confidence level at the beginning of the season was 5 when I asked that question. This is why Rivera has a 428 winning percentage in Washington. When will the adults of this organization say enough is enough? It's coming at the end of this season, Chris. You don't have to wait much longer. He's got 10 games remaining as this team's head coach. It could be as little as 6. That would get us to the bye week, right? 13 games. You got a week 14 bye. So it could be as little as 6 more games remaining, and they could decide to move on from him at the bye week. Again, I don't know if that really benefits you, but I told you this team's going to be fighting at the end of the season. We'll get to the bye week and we'll be, 7-8 or 8-7, and you're a game out of the final wild card spot or some shit like that. I mean, look around at the NFC. Tampa Bay is now 3-3. They lost to the Falcons today, who are now what are the Falcons now? 4-3 on the season, right? Like the NFC is going to come down to a bunch of middling to below the average to below average teams for that 7 seed. We'll be in that mix. So I don't know if he'll get fired or not, before the season's done. He'll be fired after the season for sure. Ja Andre 3000. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ja Andre 3000 writes, "No reason to beat a dead horse. Season's not over, but season's over. Here's to another 7-9, meaning 7-10 season." Yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. Yeah, it's another Rivera season, right? We'll get to the bye week and we'll be 7. I think we got a week. I think it's week 14 bye. So we'll be 7-6-7, 7-6, and we'll come off the bye. And if we're 7-6, we'll lose 3 out of our final 4 games, and we'll be 8-9. If we're 6-7 going into the bye week, we'll you know what? It'll be 6 of 7 either way, or 3 of the final 4 we'll lose either way. So if we're 7-6, we'll finish 8-9. If we're 6-7, we'll finish 7-10. So that's what it is. Kevin the PRF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, "Early supers are in. Trade chase," but he crosses that out. And so let's get to the comment section. See what we got. Let's see. Rob U, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rob U writes, "To already know what the Giants were going to do on defense and still not be able to slow it down or adjust is bad coaching." You said it, not me. That's pretty much what I've been saying for the last 2 hours, which is ridiculous. Red Wings 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Red Wings, writes, "Can't get mad when you expect shit like this. If the Bears game wasn't a fireable offense, this sure as hell is. We're going nowhere with Ronald." He was fired already before this game. Immediately thereafter the Bears game, he was already fired. So this is nothing new. Like, we already knew he was fired. I told y'all after the Bears game, Ron can't save his job. Only EB can give himself a chance to be the guy, but he can't save his job. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Trev writes, "Jahan is fired, hot garbage." Okay, hot garbage. Not a dog, not a 1B, just trash. Hashtag come at me. I'm not going to argue with you. You've been trolling on Jahan all season. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not looking to change anybody's mind on Jahan. I know what the dude is capable. Just like Sam. If you don't like Sam, that's cool. I'm not going to try to convince you of Sam being good. You already stuck in your ways. Your mind is made up on Sam, and that's cool. Same with Jahan with you. You don't like Jahan. You've never liked Jahan. I'm not looking to change your mind. All right. Barrett Downing, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy BD writes, "Well, Lou, it's about time for me to start doing better things with my Sunday." It's going to be that way for some people. We getting to that point, right? This team is an embarrassing mess. I support you always, but not this stuff on the field. I don't blame you. It's a lot of people that are about to change. I told you we sold out the Eagles game. That's Washington fans selling their tickets to Eagles fans. That stadium is going to be run by the Eagles on Sunday. Whether we're competitive or not, there will be more Eagles fans in those stands than probably Commanders fans. That's my guess. Sunday's game. That's just my guess. C Trill, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. C Trill writes, Jahan Dropson. Again, I got nothing for you, man. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rob Yu writes, the hits/sacks that Howell is taking at this rate is not sustainable. Truly concerned about the kid's well-being at this point. He's getting beat up. There's no doubt about that. I'm not too concerned about the physical state of Sam Howell. I'm worried about his mental state. He's a young kid. He can bounce back. None of the shots he took today were big shots where you go, oh, man, he can't take too many more of those. He's taking some this season. Usually those more so come when he runs than when he's in the pocket getting sacked. I worry about him mentally. You start seeing ghosts. You start having happy feet. When you don't, and I haven't seen that yet, but that's coming. Eventually, you get hit enough, you see enough pressure, eventually you start getting antsy back there. That's human nature. You cannot mentally survive a beating, the one he is taking on a weekly basis. You cannot survive that and be mentally locked in. So that I worry more about his mental state than his physical one, honestly speaking. Super DB Goat, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Super DB Goat writes, EB looked like Turner. No adjusting until the fourth. Shaking my head. That's what I said. If you would have given me a blindfold, no, I have to watch. If you would have put earphones over my ears, right? You gave me some headphones, right? And I was oblivious to a coordinator change from last year, and I didn't know. And you just said, hey, watch this game from last year, watch this game from this year, and tell me the difference. I wouldn't have been able to tell you any difference. It looked exactly the same. Unwillingness to get under center, gun runs on third and short, inability to convert on third downs, poor ability to adjust to what's happening. You should have been already adjusted before the game started. The inability to convert in the red zone, which has not been an issue this year. It was an issue in this game. You put headphones on me that are noise canceling. I don't know what changes have been made in the offseason. I would have told you nothing's changed. It's the same coordinator. Nothing changed. Dennis Bartholomew, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Dennis writes, the gameplay was trash in the first half, and yes, the O-line is getting blamed today. Plus, the penalties killed us. Do we draft a cornerback again? Nah, you got to draft an O-lineman. You can draft a cornerback in the third, fourth round, whatever. I think your first two picks need to be on the line. Offensive in the first round, and I would go with a defensive end in the second round. That's, if you're asking me, I need the most bang for my buck right away in the draft, and I need guys, because Tez ain't going to be here next year. And I can tell you, Andre Jones ain't it. And this next staff is going to come in here, and they're going to clean house with a lot of these dudes that probably shouldn't be here already anyway. So this roster is going to look totally different next year, and I'm okay with it because the dudes we got clearly ain't getting the job done anyway. Jordan like the GOAT. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jordan like the GOAT writes, okay, we got to the rest of these. Tony P56. Didn't see this one, though. 7 points. That's on EB. I'm still outside. We are who we are. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Zeta Man. I didn't see this one either. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Zeta Man writes, I got a mean headache, and Jahan ain't helping. No, he is not. No, he is not. Anyway, I think that is it. So thank you, Kevin, the PRF. Greatly appreciate you. DC Fan 88. Shout outs to everybody that sent me early supers. Really appreciate y'all. Okay, the Packers have taken the lead. Let me see. Let me make sure. I'm refreshing as we speak. DC Fan 88. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Sup, Lou? Sup, DC Fan 88. Man, we stink. Whatever happened to Uncle Mo? How you get Uncle Mo on your side when you ain't never got the momentum in the game? The one time I felt like we had momentum was when we scored the touchdown. I think the defense immediately went out and got a stop. And then the offense did nothing with the football. Thought that was the one period where we had momentum. Even I thought towards the end of the third quarter, we had momentum. I think that the end of the third quarter was when he hit Terry, and we thought it was a touchdown. He didn't get touched, and he got touched. And we had a chance to tie the game up. We had a whole quarter to tie the game up, and we couldn't do it. We had a whole quarter to tie the game up and take the lead, and we couldn't do it. Shame on us. All right, looks like the Chiefs are going to beat the Chargers. I needed that one. Looks like the Steelers are going to beat the Rams. Boy, this is going to – the Browns did come back and beat the Colts, so that's a good thing. I didn't know how that game ended. Boy, it's going to be a rough week for the kid. Jesus. Zoe Life, no life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes 5 stages of the Rivera era: denial, 2020, anger, Heineke, bargaining, Wentz, depression, EB, acceptance, Ben Johnson, Drew Penzig, or Monken era, baby. I'm not even impressed with Todd Monken and what he's doing in Baltimore. I haven't even been impressed with what he's doing. Now, today, I got to watch the game. They destroyed the Lions, but I haven't been impressed with him. But like I said, I like where your head's at. All offensive dudes, we need to start compiling lists. Like, this is what we actively should be doing. Watching other games, I don't want to go to college. I want an NFL dude, but we need to be scouring these staffs and looking for the next guy. Looking at these rosters, damn, this is a really good roster. They have some good drafts. Looking for the next GM. That's where we at. Remington 3121. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Needed to adjust faster. Next week will be better. Maybe. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. If we keep on the same path that we've been on, next week will be better because it's an odd week. We always play better, or excuse me, next week is an even week. We play better on even weeks offensively. So maybe it'll be better. We'll see. Remington or Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat, or thank you for being a member of the MOBB for 4 months. Who? Right. Lou, is it me, or did we not try to run this? You lost me on that comment. Miles, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Miles writes, Lou, thank you for all you do. Today was unacceptable. Looked like the Campbell offense today. We need Magic to fire them up again. Sam is the future. I believe that too. But it's just tough because you're putting a lot on this young man's plate. This will be the third year. Next year will be the third year with a different play caller. But if they get the right one, Sam's a smart enough kid to get the offense down just like he did this year. And if you get the right guy and they make beautiful music together, you know what is actually refreshing? And this is how I sleep well at night. Sam was going to have to take his lumps regardless. It was going to happen. I'm actually glad it's happening with this group who is going nowhere fast than when we really are with a new group that needs to see Sam thrive in their offense. Sam won't be making some of the mistakes he's making this year just off of the strength of I've got game experience under my belt that I didn't have before. So I think he'll be better served because of the experience he's going to gain this season. The only way it won't benefit him is if he's sacked 97 times and he loses his confidence. But if somehow he's able to come out of this season mentally still strong and the same guy he was coming into the season, it's only going to make him even better for the next staff. I really, truly believe that. Because ownership, I don't know if you guys seen this, but ownership has already said they think they have a quarterback. And that's all I care about. I don't give a shit about what some of y'all are talking about. Ownership is like, no, Sam can play. Sam can play. We just need to get him some help. That's all I needed to hear. Christopher McLaughlin, my guy, Chris. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Chris writes, hey, Lou, 3 positive areas in the game today. They got Terry 9 targets today and close to 100 yards. This was his best game of the season. 6 catches, 90 yards. Chase Young is playing well. Facts. And Tress punted well. That's also factual. What other positive, if any, did you see besides those? Jamison Crowder looked good today. Like, he's got confidence now. Like, I think that special teams award went to his head, but he looks confident out there. He was a positive today. I thought he had some really good returns. Even the one that he didn't fair catch, I was like, hey, don't do that shit again. Even that one was, hey, I'm confident. Be smart, but I'm confident. I would put Jamison Crowder on the positives list too. Some of you might put Chris Rodriguez up there. That shit is a wash for me. I think he's a lesser version of Brian Robinson, a bigger, thicker, slower version of Brian Robinson. I'd rather go with B-Rob, but I don't know what they're going to do. But I put Jamison Crowder on that list. It's a short list. Those 3 that you mentioned, great. Add Jamison Crowder to the list. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, how many more losses until Ron gets fired? It just depends. It just depends. He's not going to get fired until the bye week. That's the earliest that this can take place. If the team is not in contention by then, he's definitely fired at the bye week, I believe. But if they're in, which I fully expect them to be in playoff contention for that last wild card, I don't think he's going to be fired. But again, we'll see. A couple more losses to bad teams or get blown out by a bad team. And what the ownership group already has expressed is we don't want fan apathy again. Holding on to Ron too long could create a sense of apathy amongst the fan base because they know he's not the answer. And if you continue to trot him out there week after week with his arms folded, you may turn off some fans that were excited before the season started. So I know there's this fine line and this balance that they're trying to strike, but you also have to be cognizant of the damage that holding on to Ron. If this thing is over and there's no, tunnel, no light at the end of the tunnel, like if this team is, we get to the bye week and we're 4-9 or we're 5-8 and this shit is over, they got to fire him at the bye week. Like, just give the fans a sign that, hey, we on top of this shit. And if you're not going to fire Ron, I would fire the GMs or the GM at that point. So I think they're going to do something at the bye week if this team is not in contention, but we don't know that right now. Logan. Okay, so this is the comment that goes with Logan, because you had sent me a comment and you said this goes with the super. I didn't know what you were referring to. I'm assuming that this is it here. So I'm going to read this comment. Logan writes, hey, Lou, near here, question from what we've seen from Sam. Do you think EB has hurt or hindered Sam? Guess what I'm asking is, could an average coach done just the same, because EB is pretty much average is what you're saying. Less than average, I guess, is what you're saying. You know what? I do think EB's helped his development from this standpoint. They're putting a lot on Sam's plate. Like, literally, Sam is coming out and throwing the ball. I don't know what the average attempts, because he only had 23 last week. So a game like that kind of brings it down. But Sam is more weeks than not. Sam's throwing it more than 30 times, closer to 40 than 30. He threw it 42 times today. And if nothing else, that workload, has helped Sam develop in a way that I think ultimately shows him what it's like to shoulder the burden of an offense. I don't want him having to do that, every single week. But if we get into a shootout type of situation, Sam is fully capable. He's shown me that, right? You get into a situation like today, even it wasn't a shootout, but he got his brains bashed in and was under siege the entire day, and he kept firing. He kept fighting, and you can win games with dudes like that. You can win ball games with guys like that. But could you have gotten more out of Sam with a different offensive coordinator? Yeah, absolutely. Would Sam be as far along in his mental process? Maybe not, with less opportunities, less attempts, but maybe he doesn't have 7 interceptions this season. Maybe he doesn't have, I don't know how many attempts he has in the league, but I'd venture to say that it's got to be somewhere in that top 7 or so passing attempts. So, yeah, with a coordinator that did a better job of protecting him and putting him in position to succeed, I think you would see something like that. Jamil the King, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jamil writes, good game, Louie. Had no clue Washington line was as bad like ours. Yeah, our line stinks, and I've been talking about it all week. But it's not just the line. Like, our line stinks, but we didn't do anything to help them. That's the part that's frustrating. Font JD, our line stinks, but you can find, and there are worse offensive lines in football. And you can get by with better play calling. And we never gave our guy a chance in the first half. Font JD, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, EB has shown he is big on talk, but suspect when it comes to X's and O's. Explain why he couldn't land a head coaching job. Landing a head coaching job is less about X's and O's. It's more about your ability to communicate to an organization, an owner, that I'm the right man for the job. I hate when we have these conversations about EB and his ability to call plays and why he's not a head coach, because I don't think that has anything to do with it. I mean, when did Zach Taylor ever show you he was a great play caller? He was on Sean McVay's staff. He wasn't calling the plays. Sean was calling the plays. Why did he get the job? He never called a play a day in his life in this league. Zach Taylor did. How did he get the job? Ain't got shit to do with X's and O's. He went in there and he sold them on his ability to be a head coach in this league. How the hell did Matt LaFleur get the job? He ain't called no damn plays. He was Sean McVay's quarterbacks coach. He didn't call a single play in this league. Ain't got shit to do with it. It's not X's and O's. Can you go in there and sell them on, hey, I'm the right man for the job? I can get you where you want to go. EB has been incapable of doing that. He's been incapable of doing that. Red Wing 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, okay, you can't vibe with that. Fair enough. But have you come around on this? Sadiq is not coming back, and Wiley should be guard or bench warmer. Yes. I said that at the top of the show. Sadiq probably can go. All right. And Wiley, if he's not playing guard, he serves no purpose next year. He's on a 3-year deal. I don't know what the parameters of that 3-year, I think it was 3 years, 21, 24, something in there. I don't know what the parameters of that deal is. And if there's an out after 1 or 2, but if he's not a guard next year, he's not playing for me. Period. You can't fix everything with the offensive line in one offseason. You can't. What you got to hope is Ricky Stromberg's ready to jump in at center. What you got to hope is Sam Cosmi settles in at left guard or right guard, and that he's a foundational piece there. What you got to hope is you draft you a left tackle. He comes in and right away shows you I'm legit. What you got to hope is that Chris Paul or somebody else that's sitting around right now, Brandon, whatever his face is from Utah that we drafted in the 4th round. You got to hope Braden Daniels, one of those boys, is ready to step in next year at guard. And then Cornelius Lucas is a guy I would bring back to start at right tackle. Like, that's what you got to hope. You can't, like, turn this into the Eagles offensive line or the Brady offensive line in Tampa that first year. You can't turn it into that overnight. You got to actually, put this thing together systematically, and you got to hope some of the pieces are already on the roster. Wiley is definitely on the bench or at guard for me. Left guard next year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He can't start for me at tackle. He can't even be my swing tackle. He's guard or you on the bench. That guy with a 357, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, wow, the 1-5 Giants, still NHL, still outside. Yeah. I told you it would feel worse than the Bears game if we lost to them. Font JD, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up who writes, EB gonna stay true to EB, so at the end of the day, EB ain't got no time for no damn RPOs, slants, or screens. Sounds about right. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, I knew trouble when the condiment came in for Barton. Look, y'all been screaming for Barton to sit down. I told y'all who was behind Barton, and y'all didn't want to listen to me. Y'all keep thinking that somehow Khaleke Hudson's going to get in if Barton is not in. And I'm like, they don't play the same position. But again, nobody want to listen to me when it comes to that kind of stuff. Y'all hear what y'all want to hear. And so y'all needed to see. My grandma once told me, wise woman, those who don't hear, feel, right? Y'all didn't want to listen, so now y'all got to feel that Cody Barton is the best you got. They put us in this position. He's the best you got, so you got to ride with Cody Barton. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up who writes, 82 was a few yards inside of one on the next level. I got to go back and watch it. I didn't see Logan. I didn't see him open on the play. But again, it was immediate pressure. So even if he was open, I don't expect Sam to see it. Your heart is racing at that point. This is the game. You don't convert this, the game is over. And before you even get the ball and get to the top of your drop, 5 is screaming down on you. Now, Leno told him, pre-snap, hey, you got one out here. I can't get to him. Leno told him. So that's why he was able to spin out of it, because he knew it was coming. But how do you have a play where you can't pick up a guy, but yet there's no quick answer? Like, that's the shit that boggles my mind. Leno's telling you pre-snap, I got an extra one out here. I can't get to him. So you got a hot one. Well, then there's got to be a guy that's underneath open right now I can get the ball to. Got to be. I can't be spinning out of a sack because ain't nobody open immediately. Ain't no answers to this shit. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Reedy Davis writes, next draft should be O-line, O-line, O-line. If they did that, I wouldn't be mad. Ty the Guy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ty the Guy writes, John Allen sounds like he's ready to go. I'm tired of this shit. Same shit every time for the last 7 years, and I'm tired of this BS. He sounds like a man that understands this group ain't it. He's been around a legendary coach in Nick Saban. He knows what winning looks like. This ain't it. Jack and Ron and E, this ain't it. He knows this ain't it. That's the thing. When you know what winning looks like, they can't trick you into thinking this is what it's supposed to look like. He knows what greatness is supposed to look like. Even though, albeit at the college level, Nick Saban is a legendary coach, period. I really believe that if he would have stayed with the Dolphins, if he didn't tuck his tail between his legs and run back to college, because he knew in the NFL ain't for everybody. And he acknowledged that early on, like, yeah, let me get the hell out of here. This shit ain't for me. He would have stayed with the Dolphins. He would have turned that into a good program. But he said, this Bama job is where it's at. And this shit ain't coming around again. I got to take it. Nick Saban is legit, and John Allen knows what that's supposed to look like. This ain't it. This ain't it. Zoe Life, No Life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? NHO, but 82 was standing behind Jahan wide open for a touchdown. Again, you asking Sam to see behind Jahan to an open. Again, I got to see it. But the minute Sam spins out of a sack, he's panicking at this point. So the first person he sees in his vision, his line of sight, that's who he's getting the football to. I guarantee you he never saw Logan. Never saw him. You know? And maybe he could have held on to it a tick longer and he would have seen Logan wide open for the touchdown. But I'm just telling you, human nature, you spin out of a sack with the game on the line and you roll into your left, the first thing you see is Jahan coming across your line of sight. That's who you're trying to get the ball to because that's a first down. Might even be a touchdown. If you get it to him out in front of him and you can turn and stretch it, it might be a touchdown, but you know it's a first down, if nothing else. I'll go back and watch it, though. And if I watch it and in the timing and rhythm of the play, you see it, because it's easy for us to see some shit and we're not in it. That's why I don't like judging running backs when they pick holes, because it's easy for us to sit back and say, oh, he should have cut it back. He should have did this. You ain't in that man helmet. You making split-second decisions. It's easy for us to sit here and watch the shit in slow motion and say, oh, this dude was open. So, again, I'll watch it. He probably was wide-ass open. And it'd be nice if EB drew up a play where somebody was wide-ass open before he has to scramble out of the pocket and run for his life. That's even better. JaAndre 3000. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Double. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Regardless, I'm still outside. Black cap on. White letters. Read new Howell order. You're the bright spot of this team right now, Lou. It's tough, man. I've been down this road before, so this is not new for me, but it's old. Just like Jonathan Allen, it's the same shit, and I'm sick of it, you know? But this ain't my first rodeo. This ain't new for me. I know what this is. It's just frustrating. Logan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Hey, Lou, new here. Question: seeing Sam has helped EB, or could Sam with a regular Joe Schmo have done the same thing? I'm outside because we have a QB. NHO is in full effect. Yeah, and this, you asked this earlier, and I somewhat answered it already, but I don't think EB has hurt Sam's development. I think where he has hurt Sam is he's putting him constantly under duress. And again, mentally, that's going to take its toll over time. So from the standpoint of giving Sam opportunities to drop back and throw the football, and you only get experience doing it. He's gotten a ton of experience in just the first 7 weeks because he's throwing the football at a higher clip than most quarterbacks in the league. So from that perspective, I think Sam's seen a lot of coverage, different looks, and I think he can find himself acclimating faster because of the things he's seen. That said, he's taking a beating. And some of it is his fault, some of it is not, and the coordinator could do a better job of alleviating some of that stress. So there's that. Red Wing 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Red Wing 01 writes, I'm not even mad. I knew this staff was going to blow it. They wouldn't anticipate Wink blitzing all day. Seems like everyone but them figured as much. That's the problem I have with the staff, which is why they got to go. Us as fans can't be smarter than the staff. We can't know better than the staff, who this is what they get paid to do. So, Ty the guy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ty writes, how do you regroup, get ready for the Eagles? Genuinely. These guys get paid. You flush it, you move on. Like, they're going to learn from it. They're going to watch the film. They're going to move on, and you got to get ready for the Eagles. The season is done for fans. The season isn't done for the players. They still got 10 games left. So it's not hard to move on, just like they had to do it after the Bears game, just like they had to do it after the Bills game. You move on, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you give it a run again next week and see if you can't make the results different. Cypher XD, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Who is available for GM and head coach? That would be much better off than Ron at this point. Genuinely asking. I mean, there's nothing you can do in season. That's why there's no reason to get rid of Ron right now. It's nothing you can do in season. And not at GM, not a head coach. I mean, you could promote Jack or EB. What is that going to do? What's that going to do? Nothing. So it doesn't really benefit you any. So you just stay the course, finish this thing on out. I know a lot of y'all are done being patient because you've been patient with this group for 4 years. So patience is the last thing I'm asking you to have. I would never dare ask you to have more patience for this group who has underachieved grossly since getting here. What I'm telling you to do is just understand how this process works. Not asking you to be patient. Just understand that it doesn't benefit us any to get rid of Ron at this moment. Washington football fan, WGIL, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Lou, was it Killing Softly concert? Was it the Killing Them Softly concert? I don't know, man. I don't even know what that comment means. I just know that we scored 7 points today against the second worst team in football, who tried to give us the game. Dropped a pick six, muffed a punt, turned it over twice in the red zone with a field goal that would have put the game out of reach. They fumble. They did everything in their power to give us a chance to win, and we didn't want it. We didn't want it. Tyler Guy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Ron post game, 10 games to go, anything can happen. He fighting for his life. What is he supposed to say? That's all he can say at this point. These next 10 games are going to determine if he's got a fighting chance or not to keep his job. We've already fired him 10 times over. But if they make the playoffs and they win 2 games and we in the NFC Championship game, is he getting fired? No. And if you're Ron, that's all you can hope for, is that somehow magically you're going to end up in the NFC Championship game. It's not happening. He's going to be fired the day after as a matter of fact, 2 hours after the final snap is taken, Ron Rivera will be fired. He'll be the first coach fired this offseason. If somebody doesn't get fired in season. If he doesn't get fired in season, he'll be the first coach fired after the season's done. Red Wing, I told you these final 10 weeks, these press conferences, they're going to be rough. You're going to see a man that's defeated, that's fighting, that's searching for answers that don't have them. It's going to be rough. And he might even get snippy a couple of times. It's going to be rough. Red Wing 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I'm picking Sam up and bringing him inside with me. No, you're not. He's staying right outside with me. We taking these lumps together, man. Can't take Sam inside. It ain't safe in there neither. Ain't nothing but a whole bunch of y'all complaining ass fans. I'm not talking about you in particular. It ain't nothing but a whole bunch of half of the fans inside don't even like Sam. Nah, let him stay outside where he know he's loved, respected, and appreciated. Let him stay outside. A lot of the fans inside don't even like Sam. Let him stay outside. Joseph Harris, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Lou admitted, Commanders are pretenders. Go Birds. You act like you twisted my arm to get me to admit. We 3-4. What do you mean I have to admit that? Of course we're pretenders. We were pretenders when we lost to the Bears. You're not twisting my arm to get me to admit that we suck. We suck. We lost to the Giants and the Bears. We suck. Oh, no. We suck again. Jay, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jay writes, how did we not draft Banks? He's fast and physical. I'm good on Banks. He's a grabby dude. He's like Juice with some wheels. I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm not as big and high on Deontay Banks. They can have him. He might turn into a really good corner, but I know what I watched at Maryland. I'm good on him. We'll see what he turns into. He could have been called for 4 or 5 penalties today. He could have been called. I think he got called for 2 or 3. He could have been called for 2 or 3 more. I'm good on him. J Mark, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I can tell you he's better than Emmanuel Forbes right now, but that's not saying much. I mean, that's setting a low bar. Forbes got out there today, though. He got a couple of snaps. I don't know how many, but he was out there a couple of times. Not prepared again. A week to prepare and nothing. You sound surprised. You sound surprised. Why? 24-year Snyder survivor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, with the performance we put up in 7 weeks, looking at our schedule, how many more wins do you think we'll get, and who's our next win on? I don't know. I don't have any answers because we don't know what team is showing up from week to week. I can't tell you that. We can beat Philadelphia next week. We can lose by 30 next week to Philadelphia. I don't know what team is going to show up. I don't even know who we play after Philadelphia. To be honest, my mind was so set on this little stretch right here. This little stretch right here. Bears, Falcons, Giants. We needed to go 3-0. I was so focused on this stretch, I can't even tell you who we play after Philadelphia. It's Seattle or New England or some shit like, I don't know. We're not good enough to beat anybody on the schedule right now, including this Giants team again in 4 weeks. We're not good enough to beat anybody. We play the way we played today, we won't beat a soul. I don't know. QJ Smith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, y'all still going 11-6? What Ron Rivera say today? 10 games left. Anything can happen, right? Nah, man. Hell no, we ain't going 11-6, man. EB was my savior. He was supposed to be the reason we had a chance to go 11-6. He looks like Scott Turner, so we're back to Rivera and we're 7-10. Barrett Downing, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy BD writes, Allen spoke and said it's been 7 years of the same stuff and he's tired of this shit. And he's not just talking about the staff, he's talking about the players too. Like, they're not doing enough. But I'm not looking at Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, Cody Barton, Emmanuel. I'm not looking at none of these dudes and putting the blame on them. The reason those dudes are even here, most of them, not Terry and all the guys that predated Ron, but all the rest of these dudes, Cody Barton and Logan Thomas, they're here because of Ron. So it all goes back to Ron when it's all said and done. All of this shit is his fault. So for me, nothing changes. Jonathan Allen is right. It's the same shit. 7 years, nothing's changed. And you know what? Until they start at the top, and that's why this offseason is going. Last year was the most important offseason of this franchise's history. And you know what next year is? It's the next biggest. Because now we're going to actually get a chance to do it the right way. And they need to get it right. Joseph Harris, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, no heart, no peace. Admit it, your team is trash. Go Birds. Again, Joseph, I don't know if you think you like shitting on us, or I don't know if you think you like, oh, I'm styling on them. I'm stunting on them. But I appreciate your donation for telling us what we already know and stating the obvious. So thank you. I appreciate your generosity. Jado, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, what up, Lou? Why do we suck? I mean, we've gone over this for the last 3 hours and 3 years. You know why we suck. Wilfredo Elias, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, Ben Johnson, Detroit, for head coach, or A. Peters, 49ers for GM. We'll see. I think the 49ers, you got to be careful with them. Martin Mayhew came from San Francisco. You got to be careful with them because they have a system that allows them to plug and play. And so they don't have to draft necessarily the best and still get results because of Shanahan's system. I don't know if I trust the GM in San Francisco or not. I don't know if that's the direction I want to go in. Jordan Like the GOAT, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, can't wait for the 30 for 30 they make about this O-line. This O-line is not getting a 30 for 30. Chris, I'm still waiting on the Robert Griffin III 30 for 30. That's what I'm waiting on. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Justice Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Justice writes, is the offensive line the main reason they lost because the defense only gave up 14 points? It was a number of things. It starts with the play calling. Like I said this at the top. You give up 14 points, you're supposed to win the game. Simple as that. So they gave up 14 points and lost because we scored 7. So enough blame to go around. Sam wasn't great. EB was terrible. The offensive line was just as bad as EB was. Our receivers didn't help out the quarterback that was having a rough go of it. It's enough blame to go around. We had penalties. I mean, guys took a turn effing it up. Guys took turns effing it up. You give up 14, you're supposed to win, period. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Now that Barton is hurt and replaced by Mayo, I guess Ron about to make that Bostic call. Can't make this comedy up. I mean, y'all asked for this. Y'all asked for this. So you can't be mad when you get what you asked for. You asked for Barton to be out of the lineup. Be careful what you wish for. I've been telling y'all, if Barton leaves, you're getting a glob of Mayo. Y'all kept talking about Khalid. Khalid is not a middle linebacker. Stop calling that man's name. Y'all asked for this. Y'all getting what y'all asked for. Miko the Don, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Miko the Don writes, understand that 52 isn't a middle linebacker, but I want him in as my single linebacker, not Mayo. They want the guy that knows the defense in and out, that's going to be able to call the defense, get everybody lined up. I mean, even when they keep Jamin on the field, it's still tough. You know, it is what it is. Again, this is what you asked for. This is what you didn't want Barton in the game, so you can't complain when he's not in the game, and then you get something else. So, Miko the Don, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Also, with the 2 linebacker looks, I would rather have 52 and 47, not 52 and 51. Again, you're asking them to put 2 outside backers on the field and no middle linebacker, no green dot. That's not what they're trying to do. It's not what they're going to do. So, again, that's what y'all want, but what you want and what you're going to get is 2 different things. And that's what I've been trying to explain to y'all. Jordan like the GOAT. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I know I'm crazy, but do you think Luke Kuechly could step in off the couch and play well? How long has it been for him? Yeah, but he retired for a reason. He retired because he had too many concussions. So it wasn't physically like from arms, legs, you know, it was all neck up. He had too many traumas and he needed to cut it loose, you know, his career loose a little bit earlier. So yeah, he could step in and play better than what of course, he could come in and play better than 90% of the league. He was still relatively young. Bro, I need to wipe, but I ain't got no TP. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I don't understand how we can yell at our screens and see the blitz coming, but somehow our offense can't. Sam has talent, but has to get to easy open throws. Those don't exist, it seems like, in this offense. Those don't exist in this offense, it feels like. And I've talked about ways you can do that. Stacks and bunches and motions and shifts to get to looks that get guys open immediately. Screens and you know, quick passes. You know, especially if they're playing man, you can run traffic and interference. And we don't do these things. We don't do these things. Owens 662. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. Really do appreciate you. Owens 662. Swaggy P. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Swaggy P. Let me just look at the damage done today. Broncos, Lord have mercy. Chiefs, Lord have mercy. Good gracious sake. I got about 8 losses. Steelers, Lord have mercy. Take me now. Take me now, Lord. Godly. What a week. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, I'm still outside, but just on the porch in the rocking chair. Also, I'm still rocking with NHO. He's our future. EB and O-line need to help him out there. it just sucks because he's gonna have to learn a whole new offense, whole new language next year. But all of that'll be for the better, or the best, we hope. Owen 662, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? What's up, Lou? What's up, Owens? Thoughts on Kellen Moore? I don't love him as a head coach. Dallas didn't love him as a play caller. Clearly, he didn't get it done against Kansas City today. He didn't get it done against Dallas last week. And, some of that was Justin Herbert missing some throws and guys were open and so forth and so forth. But if the Cowboys didn't want to retain him, there's a reason behind that. But I can tell you this. You won't run the ball with Kellen Moore. So if that's what you're looking at, I mean, Dallas got rid of him. Literally, their coach said, I want to run the ball. That's not what Kellen Moore wants to do. So if you love what EB's doing and not running the football, then Kellen Moore's your guy. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for that. So I don't really know if Kellen Moore necessarily is what I'm looking for either. But we got plenty of time to figure this stuff out. Spence Callis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, Astros will score more than 7 tonight. Shameful. I don't know if they will or won't, but the fact that a baseball team has a chance to score more points than us is shameful. It's shameful. Jeeps, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jeeps writes, Lou, John Allen with JP Finley sums it up. And I've heard people have been telling me what John Allen has said, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He speaks from the heart. He's a passionate guy, and he speaks from the heart, and it is what it is. Dream Team Buddha Film Production. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, bro, Jonathan Allen went off in the locker room. I'm heated. We know he cares, and sometimes fans just need to know somebody cares. Clearly, Ron don't really give a shit, it feels like. Even though that's not true. Ron cares, but he don't show it. And again, shit can't be burning all around you and you just standing with your arms folded. Like, that's not a good look. Aesthetically, nobody wants to see that shit. You can't be on the sidelines, your team's getting beat 27-3 by the winless Bears, and you say, I didn't talk to him at halftime. Like that shit doesn't resonate with us as fans. We care too much for us to feel like you don't give a shit. So when Jonathan Allen goes off, he's speaking to us as fans because we sick and tired of this shit. So is he. And he knows we sick and tired. And he's been the one that was like, look, we can't ask the fans to come out and we giving them a shitty product. We can't ask the fans to come out here and support us. We can't ask the fans to ignore what was the past. We can't do that. Put this product out on the field, but then want the fans to show up. How bass-ackwards is that? DMV Bay, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, not one single 100-yard game by any receiver so far. Again, make it make sense. The problem is not Jahan or Sam. EB running the wrong schemes. Jahan opened a lot of plays. Like I said, I'm not here to argue with anybody that thinks Jahan or Sam stinks or is the problem. I'm past that. I know what my eyes see. I've watched enough football to feel confident in what I believe. They may ultimately not be what I want them to be, but I know that it's worth exploring with both of those players. They're young, they're talented, and I know they got a lot to offer. So, Keith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Keith writes, I'm still outside. I just got bronchitis. Hey, look, I don't want you sick outside now. If you sick, go inside, man. If you sick, go inside. Rocky D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rocky D writes, do you think it will get to the point where our best players will request trades? Nah. And if they do, they're not in control of nothing. Like, if you told them Ron was going to be back, they might request a trade. But they know change is coming. And for those like Jonathan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Deron Payne and those guys that have been here for most of this bullshit and seen it, been through multiple regimes, they just got to hang in there a little bit longer. Change is going to come. The first step was getting a new ownership in here. We did that. The next step is getting Ron and everybody out and getting new blood in here. And then the final step is then, if you get that right, step 2, winning is step 3. They just got to hang in there. I know it's tough. Same thing I'm saying to the fans. It's hard for me to tell the fans to be patient. They've been patient for 23 years. They've been patient for 4 years around Rivera. How can I possibly look a fan in the eye and say, hey, man, just be patient? The time for patience is gone. And if you're a player, you're saying the same thing. It's tough. Junio Rudy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, did you see John Allen's post-game interview? Mad as F. No, I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it, obviously. Probably won't be till tonight after Sunday Night Football when I see it. But I'm going to sit. That's how I usually decompress. After Sunday Night Football, I get me a glass of wine. I sit down. I watch all the interviews. I listen to what everybody got to say and just take it all in. And that's what I'll do after Sunday Night Football. HTTC, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, can this season hurry up and end so we can get to Black Monday? Because that's the only thing we got to look forward to. I still got 10 games of Sam Howell continuing to grow. I'm outside with Sam, so I'm not there. I'm not in the same headspace you are. We'll get to Black Monday. I don't want football to be over, so I'm not trying to rush this thing. All right. It's bad enough my team sucks. Just let me enjoy the other teams that don't suck, watching them play. So I'm not rushing this thing. We'll get to Black Monday in plenty of time. We'll see what they decide to do. I'm not rushing none of this shit. This ain't 2019. Again, this team isn't awful. We don't have the worst roster in football like we did in 2019. There's things you can build on. I already told you, after this game, I'm evaluating for next season. So now I need to see who is going to be here, who I think should be here, and who I think need to be shown the door when Ron goes, you can take these dudes with you. That's what the rest of this season is for now. We know the core group of guys. Hey, Chase, are you a part of the core group? Show me. You got 10 games. Show me. This was a big step in the right direction. Show me. You a part of that. Because I want to believe. Show me. You know? Sadiq, are you a part of that or no? Because right now is no. You can go too. Right? Benjamin St. Juice, you a part of the problem or the solution? Show me. I need to know who I can hang on to. Danny Johnson, you're a part of the solution, even if it's in a non-starting capacity. Can you provide depth? Show me. Like, it's little shit like that I'm looking for now. Who can get in the whip? Because everybody, it ain't enough space for everybody. And I'm not making no more room. Everybody can't get inside. Cameron Azizrod, thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate you. Salute to Cameron. 16 Devil Doc, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, disappointed with the performance. Can't say I'm surprised. Biggest disappointments: 1, coaches, all of them. 2, O-line. 3, Jahan. I'm convinced now that Jahan is an above average receiver, but not much better than that. And he's got some selling to do for y'all, right? He's got to sell y'all on the fact that he is what y'all thought he was. I'm not going to try to argue with y'all because it's been a rough go of it for him this season. He hasn't been the best version of himself. He hasn't. J Mark, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, J Mark, who writes, week-to-week prep is very alarming. Everyone can go. I'm tired of being sick and tired. If the coaches don't coach, then players don't play. The damn Giants. That sums it up. And I told y'all would be more upset this week than against the Bears because the Giants are really bad and they're in the division. And you're sick and tired of losing to them because they're not any good. And the fact that Giants fans think it's okay, it bothers me. It really does. It really bothers me. Because they ask and they know they ask, but they like, so are you. And what am I saying? What am I saying? What am I going to say to them? I can't say nothing. Greg Giants 10 had the audacity to look me in the face and say, hey, you are to me what we are to the Eagles. I want to be like, man, kick rocks. I can't. He's right. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And one more thing. That's the problem. The week-to-week prep is awful. It's been awful since Ron got here. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? I'm outside only because I've turned into a salt statue looking back at Sodom and Rivera. I'm outside. I'm not going inside, but man, it's disappointing. Fireman West. Lou, please listen to Jay's response. He said, I'm tired of this BS to the media. I mean, does that surprise you though? All the years you've listened to Jonathan Allen speak, does this surprise you? You hit a new low. Like, the Giants fans are happy that they won, but understand that people are reacting the way we're reacting because you're that bad. And you have no business losing to an organization that's that bad. So again, if you're losing to them, what does that say about you? JD Sports Talk. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, pull up the tweet by @Ralph Vecchiano and show it. I do that. I'll look at it and see if it's worth pulling up. And if it's worth talking about, we'll talk about it. Then Ryan Benvenite, been a member for 17 months. SOS playing at Giants. So inconsistent weekly. That like somebody asked me earlier, what games you think we're gonna win? I can't tell. I don't know what team gonna show up next week. We could show up and beat Philadelphia next week. We could show up and barely lose to them like we did the last time, or we could show up and lose by 30. I don't know what team is showing up next week. That's the problem with Ron Rivera. Since he's got it, is we don't know from week to week what team's showing up. I rarely question effort. They usually play hard, but playing hard and playing smart are two different things. And rarely do we play smart. We play hard. Our guys bust their asses most of the time. Rarely will you hear me question effort. I've questioned effort more times this season because I think they're quitting on Ron. That's what I think is in the process. John Allen lashing out, I think that's his cry for help. I think he's starting to lose the locker room. You can't keep preaching the same shit over and over again and getting no results. Now it's starting to fall on deaf ears. Dave G. Comedy. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Dave G. writes, just want to say thanks for the Commanders content over the years. Thanks for all you do for the fan base. We appreciate you. I probably owe you more. You don't owe me nothing, man. I appreciate your support, bro. I probably owe you for all the support you've given me throughout the years. And that goes for every single one of y'all that have been, kicking it with the kid, supporting for the longest. I can't begin to thank you guys for all of your support. Appreciate you, Dave, man. Thank you so much. Video channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, EB looking like a 2024 AFC running backs coach. Maybe headed down that road. Because, again, my guess is he ends back up in Kansas City. Generally, when it doesn't work out and you stray away from home, you always got a spot back home. That's what happened to all the Patriots coaches, right? They go out on their own, try to spread their wings, shit don't work, and Belichick be like, all right, man, come on back. I got a spot for you, right? That's what it looked like for EB. He might be able to go back to Kansas City and be their running backs coach. He'll always have work because he can always be somebody running backs coach. Anubis Air, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, cut the coaching staff like a scene in Hollywood. This is a terrible script. Not to be worthy, Lou. What the F are we doing? Simple fix, coaching. It sometimes it does feel like we're watching a Tubi movie. Tag still on clothes, metallic marker still on the outfit, people messing up lines, dude's supposed to be shot, still moving, getting up, walking. Yeah, sometimes this feel like a Tubi movie we in, man. Logan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Logan writes, hey, Lou, would you hire a GM/head coach? Hashtag I'm outside. Or who would you hire? Again, I got to start compiling a list. I told you I got a one-track mind. When this season started, I thought EB was going to be the savior. So I was putting all my eggs in that basket, and I wasn't really worried about. I've already told you I really like Ben Johnson, though. But he's not the only guy out there that's qualified to be a head coach. So I'm going to scour the league. I'm going to look at some offenses that I admire, see, some of these teams. And I always know I like what Jacksonville does in the draft. I always know I like what Cincinnati does in the draft. So we'll see. We'll see. I just got to look around the league and see what's popping. Tyler Guy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tyler Guy writes, give me your best Magic Johnson tweet after this game, because it's coming. Let's see how close you get. I don't know if Magic. So he's going to tweet, and Magic is going to say, this is unacceptable. If things don't change, change will come. Something to that effect. But I don't know if Magic needs to tweet anymore. He's already made it known that Ron is going to get fired at the end of the season. He's already made it known. So him continuing to tweet doesn't really help the situation. But if I had to guess, he would say, this is unacceptable. And if change doesn't happen, then change will come. Kevin, the PRF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Jordan Love threw the game away. You thirsty? Boy, I was so wrong about Jordan Love. The piss cup is in my future. I'm not alone, though. I know I'm not alone. But, boy, I picked the Chargers. I went out on a limb by myself. Whoo-wee. I'm glad the Browns won. Had they lost, piss cup for sure. Piss cup for sure. It's rough. It's going to be a rough week, man. But I think somebody gonna have me beat. DJ, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for doubling up. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, DJ, who writes, anyone blaming Sam doesn't understand football. Again, I'm not looking to explain anything to anybody anymore. They got their preconceived notions of what Sam is. They've already made up their mind. It's like you're talking to a wall at this point. Okay, so don't waste your time. Red Wing 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Red Wing 01 writes, hang on, Sam's running into the street. Gotta go get him before he gets run over. Sam, get back here. Do not run into the intersection. I'm going to make sure Sam doesn't get in trouble, man. I'm going to make sure Sam is safe. I got him. You can go inside. I promise. I got Sam, and I'm going to make sure he's straight outside with me. All right? I promise. Andre 3000, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, did you know Amani Rodgers has the longest running NCAA quarterback, 99 yards? He would be the difference maker in an EB offense. By the way, it's Jahandre 3000. Gotcha. Jahandre 3000. Gotcha. He would help. He was the guy that was the athletic one of the group. We don't have another athlete amongst our tight ends. While Cole Turner is more athletic than Logan Thomas, that's like saying a log is more athletic than Logan Thomas being more athletic than a log, not by much. You're not really saying much. It doesn't take much to be more athletic than Logan Thomas. So he wouldn't have been the difference. He would have helped this offense, I think, tremendously, but he wouldn't have been the difference. Logan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Logan writes, Hope Howell knows you're in that paint form. Hashtag NHL. I just need him to continue to play well, play with confidence despite all the shit that's going on, and just give yourself a chance to be the starter again next year. That's all I can ask of Sam at this point. Magic Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, my Commanders allowed a bad offense to go up 14-0. They didn't score enough on offense to overcome the deficit. The Giants had 14. The Commanders had 7 after 0 seconds left in the fourth. That is why they lost. I firmly believe that after the Bears game, they had already made their mind up on Sam. This just further drives the point home that he can't be the coach next year. They're having conversations about this. Gunny Man, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Gunny Man writes, can't play soft on the road in the NFC East. I wouldn't classify this performance as soft. Terry took a shot on the sidelines, came down with the football. I thought the defense, they gave us some plays. The Giants came into the game with 14 plays of 20 yards or more, which was tied for the second worst in the league, I think. And they had 7 or 8 of them alone in this game. Like, the defense is what they are. We already knew that. Defense is going to give shit up. But they only gave up 14 points. I can't stress that enough. If you can't score more than 14, you deserve to lose. It's not like the Giants scored 27. The Giants scored 14 points. Gunny Man, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, crazy-ish, 3-4 feels like 0-7. It feels like 0-7 because of the teams we've lost to. Feels like 0-7 because of the teams we've lost to. You can stomach losing to teams that are better than you. But when you look at the Bears and you look at the Giants and you look at what everybody else has done to them, you just assume we should be able to do that too. And we never do what everybody else is doing to bad teams. Never. Even if we beat them, it's barely. Indianapolis last year, for instance. We needed help to not lose to the Indianapolis Colts last year. A lot of it. Like, that's what we do. So it feels like 0-7 because you're losing to the worst of the worst. And while we try to distance ourselves from the worst teams in football, we're among them. We're among them. You can't tell yourself, this is the shit that I've been doing for years. You can't tell yourself that you're better than somebody, but you can't beat them, though. I can't look at the Bears and say, oh, the Bears trash. We beat your ass, though. Can't look at the Giants and be like, man, the Giants are super trash. We beat your ass, though. I mean, what are you going to say to that? You can't say nothing. The Giants stink, and we scored 7 points. Ain't a damn thing you can say to that. You just got to take your medicine. At this point, we need change. And it's going to come at the end of the season. But for now, you just got to ride out these final 6 to 10 games, however long it is, of Ron and company. And you just got to deal with it. I'm here for Ron. I'm here for Sam. Y'all already know why I'm here. It's NHL. That shit ain't changed, and it ain't going to change.
New Howell order.
Media Truth. Stand up. You in the building. Newest member of the MOBB mob. Y'all know what to do. Show Media Truth some love. Media Truth, welcome to the squad. Glad to have you. Commandalorian. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Commandalorian writes, where's Josh Harris? Jerry Jones would be talking hella shit if Dallas played the way we do. Our coaches are soft, our players are soft, and our owners are soft as F. They should be standing up for the fans. I don't think that's going to move the needle at all. Like, they just got here. The best thing that they can do is kind of sit back and assess everything and figure out what's the next move. Like, them coming out, I don't want the fact that you brought up Jerry Jones tells me I don't know if you really been doing this a long time, been watching, or you shouldn't bring up Jerry Jones and fans in the same comment and feel like that's a good statement. I don't want my owner to be anything like Jerry Jones. If Josh Harris is anything like Jerry Jones, we might as well hang the shit up now. We'll never win. I don't want to be even in the same breath with Jerry Jones. I don't know what the hell you talking about, Commander Lorian. But if you want Jerry Jones as owner, just go be a Cowboys fan. Because I don't want that shit over here. Nothing that even resembles him or his son. Magic Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes, Giants head coach looking like a white EB. Hey. That bald head was happy today, man. That bald head was happy today. Barry Curtis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Barry writes, if it hit both your hands, you got to catch it. That's an old rule. I don't always think it's true, but that's what receivers say. That's what we say. If it hits your hands, you got to catch it. Receivers are here to make plays. That first round pick needs to make that play. That ain't Trey Quinn. You're not wrong. I don't classify that as like a blatant drop like some of you, but you need to make your quarterback right. I already stressed how I feel. Like, I don't need to defend my position. I need him to find a way to catch that ball. But that's not the drop from last week against Atlanta. That's not the drop against Philadelphia on 3rd and 3. That's not the same thing. I just need you to make a play for your quarterback. But I can say the same thing to Logan. I can say the same thing to Terry, even though Terry made some plays in this game. And Terry, again, you're not going to get me to say anything bad out of my mouth about Terry McLaurin. Jahandre, 3000. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jahandre writes, disappointing 14-7 loss for my Commanders to the New York Giants. It's hard to win in the NFL when you only score 7 points. That was Magic Johnson. I told you he was going to use the word disappointing. That's the only word you can use when you're talking about losing to arguably the worst team in football. Panthers have that locked down, no questions. The Giants and the Bears are fighting for the second worst team in football, and we lost to both of them. So again, what does that say about us? So, yeah, that sounds about right. Media Truth, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, getting in at a low point. Been outside for decades. No need to stop now. If you've been outside for this long, this ain't nothing compared to some of the shit that we done seen and been through. This pales in comparison. A lot of people are prisoners of the moment. So, it's the latest, the greatest, it's the worst because it's happening to them now. I've been through way worse with this organization. Way worse. Okay? This is nothing. This is disappointing. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed. Being disappointed, I've always told you, is worse than being mad because mad is a fleeting emotion. Disappointment lingers. I'm disappointed because I thought that EB could be the answer. I'm disappointed. I'm not upset. I'm not mad because that emotion, I can't allow them to evoke that emotion out of me anymore. I can't because I know what they are, which is why I talked about, like, surprise. You want to surprise me? Surprise me. Well, they did surprise me once. I knew we were going to give up points in the first half, offensively, touchdowns. I thought it would come on the first drive. So I was surprised there. They did surprise me there. The next surprise would have been, don't give up a touchdown to the Giants in the first half. Nobody else in the league has done it this year. Don't give up an offensive first half touchdown. Of course, we gave up 2. Of course we did. Frank McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Frank writes, I thought Quan Martin looked pretty good today. I didn't see a ton of Quan. So that doesn't mean he wasn't out there a bunch. I wasn't focused in on him like I was last week. I know he made 1 or 2 plays in particular. He had the batted ball on the opening possession of the game. I thought he had another play where he was around the football. So he probably did play well. But I'm gonna have to go back and watch. HTTC. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. HTTC writes, double up. Let me double it up first. I pray our ownership gets it right. That's all we can do. Because if they don't, it's another 4 to 5 years of this shit. And even worse, if you pick a new GM, that GM is probably going to get an opportunity to not only pick his first coach, probably going to get a chance to pick a second coach. So it could be, 7 or 8 years of poor play if the GM doesn't get it right. If you don't get it right with the GM. And bad players on top of that. So I pray they get it right with the GM. Start with him. And then if he gets it right with the head coach and that coach gets it right with his staff, we're in business. But it's a lot of ifs. And if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, oh, what a wonderful world it would be. We will see one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Mark Mullinex, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Mark writes, Commanders flatline, Ron, LOL. Ron, check out. I wanted to check on the pulse of the Giants to make sure that they were dead. And somebody said that they are dead. Their season is dead. They're zombies, and then they bit us. Now we're zombies too. I think that's how I feel right now. JLG, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JLG writes, report came out from Caleb Williams' camp. Raiders, Giants, 49ers, Vikings, and Cowboys are only teams of interest. I don't give a shit what he says he wants to do. I'm sick of dudes like him trying to come in and determine where their future lies. If a team sucks bad enough to be in a position to draft you, that should be where you end up playing. I hate that Eli Manning was able to strong arm his way out of San Diego. I hated that John Elway was able to strong arm his way out of Baltimore, even though that was a bad franchise back in the day. And I hate that he's trying to strong arm somebody into not being able to take him number one. If I suck and I earn the right to draft you, or if I trade up to come and get you, you shouldn't have any say-so in whether if you don't want to play in the league, then you know what I would do? I would draft his ass, and if he don't want to play, I own his rights. I think that's how it works. Bo Jackson, I think the Raiders did this, the Buccaneers or somebody did the same thing with Bo Jackson. They drafted him. They had his rights. And then I think he ended up going back in the draft the next year. They probably changed that rule. If somebody drafts you, they probably own your rights. I'll draft his ass, and then you won't play for no damn body then. That's how you want to carry it. And you know what? I already don't want to like him because he seems real cocky and arrogant. That's another conversation for another day. I'm not going to get started on that shit. JD Sports Talk. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JD Sports Talk. Double up. Who writes, the tweet I reference is a clip by Jonathan Allen. Okay. So it's what probably everybody else is talking about. I'll see it. It's not, bro. It's circulating. Everybody, trust me, when I get to my inbox, I probably already had 3 or 4 people already DM me the clip that you're referencing. I'm going to see it. Trust me. 1/6 Devil Doc. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes 30 years from and now another one. Oh no, we suck again. Feels like we've been saying that for too long here in Washington. Every year I predict 10 or 11 wins. Well, not every year, just the last 2 in particular. And then they come out and they do this shit. And so we didn't get the normal Ron false death. They broke it up into pieces. This shit might, but no, I can't lie and say this is more painful. Had we been riding a 5-game losing streak right now, we were 2-5. That'd be worse than 3-4. I know some of y'all like it really don't make that much of a difference. It does, but not really. Not really. When the grand scheme of things, you still suck ass. 3-4, 2-5. You still ain't shit. You still lost to the Bears and the Giants. So, I mean, what difference does an extra win make, I guess? Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie Tee. I'm not even rooting for nothing on Sunday night. The Eagles lose, they win. I don't give a shit. Because I told you, I don't root to hate. I root to uplift my team. If we would have won and they would have lost, we would have had a chance to be tied with them next week. Us losing, we didn't do our part. So whether they win or lose, it don't matter to me. We can't catch them. We ain't shit. I'm more distraught about that than being excited that the Eagles lost. Oh, misery loves company. F that. I want to be good. I don't give a shit that the Giants stink. I'm not trying to be like the Giants. I'm trying to be good. They not good. I'm trying to be like the Eagles and the Cowboys. I'm trying to have some respect put on my name. Too many of y'all get excited about other teams' failures. No, I would be more excited about our success. I don't give a shit if the Eagles win or lose tonight. I'm pissed off we lost 14-7 to the goddamn Giants. Anyway, damn twin shorty sublime. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, gun run left, gun run right. One screen pass to counter 100 blitzes. Hell, maybe I should apply to be the next OC. Why not? Shaking my head. If we can see it, my question has been for years, if we can see it, why can't they? Why can't they? That's the shit I struggle with. They get paid to do this. They get paid to put a game plan together. Every year, we watch the same shit happen. Just like Jonathan Allen said, that y'all said he said. Same bullshit. 7 years, same. You put this game plan together that doesn't give you a chance to win every week, it feels like. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. J Mark, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. J Mark, thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, I turned a blind eye because of EB. Boy, was I wrong. I think all of us, most of us, I won't say all of us, most of us got. I feel like I was bamboozled, hornswoggled, hoodwinked. I feel like I got. I feel like I got. What can you do? Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Y'all get out of here. Sunday Night Football is about to kick off. Go enjoy the game. Watch what real football is supposed to look like. Not the shit we did with the Giants. That shit was horrible. Those two teams were ass-tastic. And I told you the team that made the least amount of mistakes was going to win. That was the Giants. Somehow, some way, it was the Giants. Somehow, some way, they made less mistakes than we did. I think we still forced them to turn it over twice, but we had more penalties. We both missed a field goal. We were worse on third downs. We made more mistakes than they did. So they beat us. Man, we are one pathetic loser. Matthew, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Matthew, thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, thanks, LT. Get some rest. I'll try. Thanks, Matthew. Y'all enjoy the game, man. I'll be back. Y'all know where to find me after the conclusion of Eagles, Dolphins. Why must we suffer the way that we do? Sometimes I ask myself, if I could go back and change who I root for, would I? I don't know. The answer is no. But if you would have told young Louie T that old Louie T would be dealing with this shit, I'd have to reconsider. Y'all get out of here. See y'all next time.